Yes. Good evening, everyone. Sorry about that. We were having a little weirdness with LinkedIn, wanted to be a pain in the ass for some reason and didn't want to let us on. For everybody, we're on Roku tonight. If you want to watch us on television, feel free. Pop in the Roku, type in UFO Parent. Actually, when I type in, I just type in UFO and P and it comes right up. And I don't know if you can. I haven't looked it up as United Public. I don't think you can because I don't think it's in the front list. And I think they only use the front listing. So it's UFO Paranormal and then it's United Public TV. But I think they only use the front listing. So that's probably the one you have to use. No, it's been great so far. It's kind of rough because everybody sees people writing to me about they could see these books back here. They were telling me because on Roku you can zoom in and out. Yeah, I shouldn't even tell you all that, but you can. So you can zoom in and out. If you want people's nose hairs, you can look at them. It's insane what you can do with these things. And now you can go see all the hosts and check everybody out and see what they look like up close and personal. Tonight we're going to actually be crossing a lot of topics. So we'll get into them in just a little bit. Actually this show was scheduled to have actually a couple other hosts. With one's out watching their kid win some basketball tonight or tomorrow, whenever it is. Good luck, Emily. I hope your kid whoops some ass. And the other one's recovering. She's been sick, so she's recovering. So hopefully she's feeling fine. There's some material we're going to go over from Balenciaga tonight and some other stuff like that. And then we'll talk a little bit about, we can't do a show without talking about Uncle Cracker Joe. Last week we were talking about how him and, Pink Shorts were making love in the moonlight. That was interesting on that show, I got to say. And if y'all don't know who Pink Shorts are, I can tell you to look it up. That's something else. I meant to tell this to Laura Lee. I met the granddaughter of Castro's best friend. And so she's going to come on in that way. She's going to come on Roku and we're going to see how this is. Well, she used to live in Cuba. She lives in America now. She came back when Obama was there and all the stuff was being traded. And they keep in touch, believe it or not, via Twitter. So she mails her a new cell phone every once in a while, which just gets enough range to catch on the Florida Keys. So she's not even using the whatever cell they've got in Cuba, if they even got cell in Cuba. She's still using the island. That's cool as hell. And they keep in touch, and maybe it's because it's encrypted and Cuba can't break that encryption. I have no idea what it is. But that's one of those things I think they do just so they can talk. They want to talk. And they've been friends since they were little kids. And the reason she wants to talk is she wants to talk about when Raul passes away and the granddaughter takes over. They want to make it a democracy and join as a commonwealth in the United States, become a state.
Interesting.
Well, like Puerto Rico. And I was thinking,
no, I think
that what you got? Fix that audio, man.
Oh, I was moving my headphones around. Sorry.
Yeah, well, we can just hear. We can hear back audio is what we can hear.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, we're getting a feedback from you. And why is that up there? Let's get rid of that.
You might have to mute yourself till you figure it out.
Yeah. We got rid of that. Good. Oh, we got Jay McNichols going to be joining us too in a little while. He is playing Fix the Computer at the moment. What can you do? Life is always fun.
So what's this woman's name? Because I don't think I try to stay away from Mr. Pink Pants as much as possible, but
I can't actually put her name out on. We're gonna actually use a fictitious name when she comes on.
Good.
Now
so she's gonna spill the beans. I can't wait.
Oh yeah. So the argument is if she's going to be full face or if we're going to, mask her face or something.
Good.
And I wouldn't even got involved with it, but she gave me her credentials and I mailed the letter to Cuba, which I never thought I was going to get a response. And I got a response. So it's been verified who she is. So we're going to see how that goes. We also have 2 people in the field in the Ukraine right now. One of them I hooked up with a friend of mine at the BBC. So he's selling stuff to the BBC now. And he's getting all kind of stories for us. I'll probably bring him on later and probably early in the springtime and let him talk about his adventures in Ukraine. He said it has just been insanely wild over there. He said 1 minute the Russians are winning, 1 minute the Ukraine. He said, don't believe the news, Joe, because the Ukraine ain't winning all the time, my friend. They're getting their asses kicked quite a lot. And he said, then every now and then they'll kick the Russians' ass back. He said a lot more people are dying over here than it's making it into the news. He's that, and then I've been talking. We have 4 or 5 people on the ground in China, which has been interesting. because Wuhan, we have 4 people in Wuhan, but Wuhan's kind of boring at the moment. I guess it's plagued out and
Okay,
kind
so I
of
got to
chilled
ask you
back.
something. So have you heard anything about this mysterious white lung that they're keeping pretty quiet coming out of China, but it's coming? I've seen some of the x-rays.
Well, I've been hearing a lot of different things out of China, and there seems to be a lot of stuff. Well, first off, there's so many people sick right now that in the hospitals, they're in the hallways, and they're stacking them in the hallways. They got them stacked up against the walls. They get them on gurneys and stuff. And so there's just a lot of sick people all over the place. Now, China still maintains only 60 million. I mean, only 60,000 people have died versus America's 1.1 million people that have died. I'm a little confused by those numbers. I'm sure, I'm absolutely sure that China's lying about those numbers. But, I was talking with a friend of mine in Beijing the other day. I'm not going to mention his name, but he sent me some really good videos. And he's like, look, he said they opened up the town. He said it is like a whirlwind here, man. People are everywhere. People don't even care if they're going to get sick. He said they just want. That's just how we were. We were to the point where we needed out. Whatever happened, we were getting out. No more being locked down. No more of the bullshit. We were
but
getting
no,
out.
You guys got out. Anybody I know in the southern U.S.
We got out early.
It there. It was like nothing. Like, look what happened in Canada, and we're still going like pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. Even after they prove being locked down is not good, it helps to. It doesn't, because when you're active, the virus actually moves through your body faster. I mean, the vaccine works through it faster, but they didn't want to talk about that because they knew they boo-booed. They needed something, when this happened, and so some crazy bastard named Fauci decides, okay, well, in the beginning, remember he said we don't need masks. He said all kind of stuff that later on he reversed, and now they're reversing yet again. So I don't know. I try not to even keep up on that because it just irritates me.
There's an interesting interview Rebel News did at the World Economic Forum with Greta Thunberg today, and then yesterday with Albert Borland, head of Pfizer. It was pretty interesting.
Well, I heard Greta and Dell was having an affair. That's why she got arrested.
He can have her.
She is.
He can have her.
She is. I wouldn't wish her anybody.
The thing that they did there was what I guess it's been said there is that whole arrest thing was a big staged ploy there.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. She got a lot of press. The whole bunch of them only stayed in jail a day, and they kicked them out. Some of them didn't even stay a day. Some of them were out in 4 or 5 hours. They kicked them out. So Tommy was telling me that, he did a report on it over there for BBC, and he said, this was a joke. He said, I don't know what the hell this was supposed to be, Joe. He said, this was just a joke. He said, the cops just wanted to arrest her, and she just got more press like what she was hoping for. And now they're calling her Al Gore's grandbaby. Because, Al Gore is a Fruit Loop. Have y'all ever heard some of the shit that he was saying that was going to happen? 10 years and 15 years ago. I'm like, Al, what were you smoking back then? And then, I shouldn't even bring this up, but I'm driving home in my car there. They mind my own business. Radio comes on. NPR comes on. Now, I'm not a big fan of NPR. So I'm listening. This girl from Kentucky is talking about writing her book and how she likes to do LSD and how good it's for and how much medical value it has. I'm thinking, yeah, okay, maybe it does, maybe you don't. I don't know. I'm not saying I never did LSD because I'd be lying, but so she did it when she was young, and then she quit, and then she just couldn't find her life. So she started doing it again. She became a singer. I think she's living in Kentucky now, and she does it regularly to help with her music. Okay, that makes sense. But, she also says it enlightens and brings her here and brings her there and helps her stay healthy. That's all fine and dandy. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. The problem is you should think before you talk, because on these particular stations, children can listen. And, when you're 16, I tripped when I was 16. It's all I can say is most 16-year-olds are not prepared for what's going to happen, especially if it's a good shit. They're just not prepared for it. So I was laughing, listening to it, thinking, oh, I feel sorry for them. It's different in the South because down here we grow up with shrooms. So it's a thing down here. Cows poop, mushrooms grow, you get high. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding people. I'm actually serious. So doing LSD is just a step up from there. So it's not a big deal, but I was never a big fan of it. I like to be in control. I'm just a control freak by nature. So, and LSD doesn't leave you feeling that way. Jeremy, I don't know if Dell's done LSD. He's from Canada. They don't do that kind of stuff in Canada, man. Canada people are not like that. I'm just saying.
I haven't. Not like that. I will tell you, I haven't.
It's and I'm not recommending you go do it. No, look, y'all need to go where I can see y'all in the messenger group. I mean, y'all in the messenger group in one of the page groups. Go over to one of the pages where I can see you.
Yeah, then we can see your comments.
Yeah. So, one of these days, I was talking about this the other day, and a couple of my friends in Messenger got mad at me. I said, I'm just going to put the camera up so everybody can see my Messenger pages going by. And they're like, no, you can't do that. I said, yeah, because y'all perverts write all kind of stupid stuff in there. They try sometimes to distract me when I'm talking. They'll just write just dumb stuff. And if I catch it with an eye, I'm like, no, I go on from there because, it's just dumb stuff. But this is a particular group have been following me since I was going to say Yahoo from Yahoo. They went from Yahoo to Fire Talk to Pal Talk, and when we kind of closed the Pal Talk room, they all just piled into Messenger, and that's where they've been ever since. Did you finally close
that? Because, like I said, I've been here 4 years in July, and I remember I tried that Pal Talk.
We don't use it. We still have all the names over there, but I don't think it gets you. Some of the other admins from time to time open it up and use it, but I haven't personally used it in a while. Oh, because like I said, most of them went to Messenger, so that's fine by me. They can use my Messenger or my email, which when I'm ready for them to do my emails. Yeah, see, she's doing LSD. People watch an hour. She'd be like, "Oh yeah, baby, what's going on?"
Tylenol.
It's Tylenol is LSD. Man, what are you talking about?
That's why I'm squirming so much. I got a bad back, guys. It's not that I can't sit still, so I figure I better take something so I can sit more still.
Yeah, I keep them patches in. Well, they what starts with an L. Them patches work pretty good. They're not to knock out all.
How many nurses do you know have not got a back injury? I'm a nurse.
I do know. All nurses do. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that's just part of the job.
It is.
Well, I got one of my son's girlfriends out looking for a job right now in the medical field. I forgot what she went to school for, but she's out looking. I said, "Ooh, have fun." It's always fun looking for a job right now, ladies and gentlemen. I know there's a lot of jobs, but there's not jobs that a lot of people think about. I mean, who was it? Google and Yahoo's laying off a bunch of people today. Twitter's already laid off a bunch of people. Facebook's laid off a bunch of people. Social media seems to be having issues with how much money they got to spend.
I wonder why.
Well, that was the big the answer to the question. There was that it's all been put forward for people that when they went to school and post-secondary school was all to become management people and to become all this stuff that they'd be working in some sort of business and that. And they sort of really frowned people away from working in skilled trades and labor stuff like that and welding and things like that. All those jobs, construction jobs are out there that pay really, really good money. And now all these people that were working at, what was the one there at, was it at Apple or Google or something like that? They laid off a whole bunch of people. And when they showed that day in the life of a person that goes into work, they show up to work, they go get their latte, then they go sit in the mellow out room for a while, go have
bring your dog,
newspaper, go for lunch that's paid for, and then go relax in another room, have another meeting, and then take their vehicle home, and then go do it the next day as well. And it was like, oh wow, that's those jobs are long gone, I think now.
Yeah, well, a lot of them are, and a lot of companies are to the point where they don't want you working at home anymore. They want you back in the workforce. Hey, cutie, what you doing? There's Jay, guys, joining us. Jay, Dell, Jay. I think y'all met before, but Laura Lee, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Hey, guys.
I thought everybody knew because everybody was talking.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's a good thing to do. But it's a strange. The world we live in today is just way different. I was listening to. I get invited to these networks from time to time because I'm an ornery bastard. And like, it's Black Information Network. Well, I call in from time to time, just tear people's ass up. And for a long time, they did not believe I was white. I'm like, no, I'm white, people. No, you're not. You're not. There ain't no way you're no white man would know this stuff. I'm like, no, I'm white. And this went on for a while. And then finally, somebody looked me up and said, oh, he is white. I kept telling y'all that. But I argue with them all the time about all kind of stupid shit. And so after a while, people get to know you on the air and people invite you to come fight with them on their show or this show or the other show. And so those people are all kind of basically the same. You could recount on people like these in a war, whatever color you were, you could recount on them in a war. They'd have you back. But I hate to sound like my great grandpa because he used to bitch about us all the time, saying, oh, I hope y'all ain't got to go to war because we all going to die. And I hate to say this, but I feel the same way when it comes to the Z-Geners. I'm not sure I mean, if there's not a Starbucks on the battlefield, I'm not sure what the hell's going to happen. I mean, if there's no Starbucks, there's not going to be no war. I mean, and it's on both sides. That's not just on our side. I'm thinking we got to break. Remember the old days, the British and Spanish used to fight. They would take lunch breaks and stuff like that. That's how the war's going to be fought again. We got to have a latte break. We got to have a tea break. Oh man, I don't. In all fairness, and I told this to my son riding home today. In all fairness, when the bullets start zinging by your head, you might wake your ass up, but will that be too late? Fortunately for us, right now in the world, America is the only really country that has 4 decades of trained military. So if we get in a pinch, we can really go out there and kick some ass. But because actually the millennials are actually turning around. They're starting to be a pretty good group. I've been watching them now, especially the ones in their later 30s and stuff. They've really started to get their shit together. And so it's nice because, the millennials, half of them were living at home until just recently, and still more than 40% live at home. But they really are starting to turn around. So that's nice. And in all fairness, they're going to live longer than we are. They're going to probably live to be 100. So they have more time to screw up than we did. But still, it's nice to see. But the Z-Gen scare me. Z-Gen just scare me. They say stupid shit sometimes. I'm like, dude, you can't really believe that. No, you can't really believe that. Like electric cars are going to save the world. I'm like, why? I said, maybe hydrogen cars might save the world, or maybe fusion cars might save the world. But electric cars
about all the people that have created cars that will run on water, and then they mysteriously pass away just as they're about to release their announcement? There was an
because there's no money to be made. There's not enough money to be made. That's why we don't do hydrogen, because once you get hydrogen going, it's also really cheap, and the only byproduct is water. So they don't want to do that because it's too cheap. So, and now, unfortunately for them, some fool somewhere invented fusion. And so now they're really screwed, because in 50 years or so, it's not going to benefit us very much, but our kids and grandkids, it will benefit. By 2051, 2055, you'll have a fusion. It'll be independent. It won't be in a grid. It'll be your little fusion reactor that runs your little house. You'll have one that runs your little car. You'll have one that runs your little bicycle, and the whole 9 yards. You'll have independent ones on the thing. And the thing about it is, once those little reactors are started, they don't ever stop. So it's an endless supply of fuel. Because right now, what's going to happen, what we're doing right now is building big ones so that we can put them in power plants, so we can charge your asses by having a meter. But that's not going to last long, because some little guy somewhere is going to compress them down to this size, and then they're going to start selling them independently. So that will change. It's going to take 50, maybe 100 years, but it will turn into that. That was Tesla's dream, and it's going to finally come to fruition. 150 years after his death. It'll happen. It's just going to take time. And it could go faster, really, if all the countries would get together. If Europe and Canada and Mexico and a whole bunch of us would get together, and China, we could probably do this in less than 20 years. But no, we don't want to do that. We're making too much money off of selling electricity to people. It's too good of a profit. Everybody's got to have it. Everybody's got to have it. You don't have to have electricity.
I think it could be soon.
It could be soon. I'm hoping it's going to be soon. It could be. I mean, so the first time this happened, the first fusion reaction I remember was some group did it. It was in the 90s, but they couldn't reproduce it. But they did actually do it. But they couldn't reproduce it readily, so it just went on a back shelf. And then in 2000, Boeing and Lockheed said, we're going to start working on one. They're going to be able to size about a rig that'll be able to power New York City. That was in 2020. In 2000. So here we are in 2023. They're saying, okay, it looks like this other group has got it working. So now what's going to happen is the U.S. is going to spread it around amongst its bidders, like Boeing and some of the other companies out there. SpaceX will probably get hold to it. Elon Musk will definitely get hold to it. And you'll see it go. If Elon can get his hands on it, it'll happen in 10 years. If you leave it in Boeing's hands and everybody else, it's going to be 50 years, because they really want to figure out a way that they can meter this. And if they do it in a big way and make just one reactor that powers a city, then they can still meter it. But even if they meter it after the first 5 years, the next 5 years is going to be almost free, because once it's paid for, it takes 5 people to run a reactor the size of a rig in a building the size of a rig that can power New York City easily. And those 5 people might we'll be nice and say they each make $100,000 a year, or even $200,000. It's only $1 million a year spread across 8 million people in New York. That's nothing. Your electric bill is going to be like $50, if that. It might be $20. So all these billionaires are going to have to figure out another way to make money.
Well, the thing is with all that part of this technology and that's mostly just going to be for basically North America, because the rest of the world isn't going to be going doing this stuff there. You're not going to see them pull away from using gas and stuff like that.
Well, because we're not going to give them the technology. We're going to give them the big finger. We're not going to give them because for America, and Canada might get lucky, and some of our European allies might get lucky. But other than that, America looks at it differently. Okay, yes, we don't mind power and helping our friends get power because we're all one big happy family, so we say. But giving it to someone like China or Russia who can turn it into a bomb, an endless powered bomb, is just ignorant on our part. China would like to get to there, but China's too busy trying to figure out how to make a microchip to fly their airplanes since we cut them off. So much less trying to work on fusion right now. It's just out of their league. So we can keep it back, yes, and they will. But for them, it's even better for them, though, because if the United States stops consuming gas, it's good for the whole world. The price just dropped for everybody. You just lost your second or third biggest customer in the world. Boom. Saudi will be begging, oh, please, we'll give it to you 25 cents a gallon. Just come get our gasoline. And then, after a couple of our allies, like some of our Europeans or Canada drops too, boom. They're in the shithole.
Our gas isn't too bad where we are. It was like it got pretty high there, and then it's actually dropped pretty low at points, and it'll go up a little bit, but it's nothing like it was at like the way it was in the summertime. We were all having a hard time. I don't know. That's what I'm finding.
Anyway. For by the liter?
Yeah, by the liter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, like especially if I go to the reserve, because you can get it's about 20 cents cheaper a liter. So
yeah, it's about
3.20.
It's about 3.78 liters per American gallon. So we were paying about $1.70 at a time there per liter. So looking at that, so just round it up, that's just under $8.
And that's not with the exchange. Believe me, that is cheap. I just came back from the grocery store like an hour before. Every week, every time I go every week, something goes up like about 20%. I cannot believe it.
Right now I'm paying $2.85 a gallon, plus I get 20 cents off from my shell.
No wonder you raised your eyebrows. I'm going, it's pretty cheap.
It's wait, when Trump was president, we were paying 99 cents a gallon. 99 cents. I hadn't seen that since the 70s or since the 80s when the gas things. I made so much money in that gas crisis, it wasn't even funny. And all we were doing was picking up cars.
We were paying about $8.5 a gallon. So now
and there's no reason for it. America's got enough fuel to supply Mexico, us, and Canada for the next 500 years. There's no need for us to be paying it. Well, I mean, we got an ignorant president. That's why we're paying for that. Saudi and them still have plenty of oil to easily supply to Europeans. This is just greed, is what this is. It's not. I would like to say it was something else, but it's greed. Oh well, the Russians did this. Screw the Russians. We weren't getting oil from Russia in the first damn place 20 years ago. So who cares? Let Russia starve to death. We don't need to buy their damn fuel. And Trump tried to warn the Europeans, stop buying fuel from Russia. It's going to bite you in the ass. Oh no, Angela Merkel, I'm brilliant. I know. Yeah, Angela. I guess you kissing that Trump's ass now. She did come out. I got to give her credit. She did come out and say that she misjudged Trump. He was completely right on the European setup, and he was. So I don't know. I'm not going to live in Europe anytime. I don't plan on going to live in Europe anytime soon. I might go visit one day, but actually, Claire, that's I didn't realize I could see that it's actually the back of one of my monitors you're looking at. Yeah, when I moved the camera, I moved it out of the way because it was too close to my face. Well, we're on TV now, so I don't want to be like on people, scaring people and stuff. It's Oh, you mean Balenciaga? Jay's going to be saying it all night because I butcher it every time I say it. So it's going to be Jay's job to say out the title for Balenciaga. Yeah, Balenciaga. It's become a Freudian thing in my brain now. Well, maybe Jay's not. Jay looks like he is being probed at the moment. Yes, Jay, you look like you're being probed. There you go. I thought the aliens got hold of your ass there for a minute.
I'm glitching out over here, so maybe it's coming over on here that I'm frozen. So.
Yes.
No, not yet.
All right. Whoever said that, I'll do it right now. People telling me how to dress online.
There's been some stuff at Gucci tany, which is interesting. They're all getting called out.
I know they all seem to be getting called out lately, and I know Amelia was sending me stuff. So many of these companies are linked together. It's just scary. Mm-hmm. Or doing business together, or crossing over each other. And then every now and then you see Epstein dropped in the middle of it. You're like, and of course he's dead now. It's interesting to me. So they arrested the woman. They find the woman guilty to put the woman in jail, but yet they don't use her diaries or her books to go after all of these other people. I mean, what the hell was that about? I mean, I thought if you did FBI, at least you'd have got her notes and went and arrested all these people. I guess they're all too powerful, too much money, too much influence.
Well, she did an interview. I'm positive she did it. If I heard you correctly, who you were talking about. You talking about Ghislaine?
Yeah, the one that just went to jail for, I guess, recruiting women for Epstein.
Yeah, Maxwell. Yeah, she did an interview.
Oh, did you? I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can find it. I don't think it was audio, though. I just seen the written part. Did you see it, Jay, at all? But she did do an interview recently from I didn't see the interview, I'll see if I can find it.
Well, she's she's in jail for 20 years, I think, and which means if it's the Fed, she'll be in for 15 of those 20 years, no matter what. We require you serve 2/3 in federal prison, but if it's state, she could be out as soon as 6 years. So I mean, I just don't understand. We kept talking about Bill Clinton and all these other people they kept mentioning, and then all of a sudden, when they had this book to go do it, they're like, "Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think we're going to go arrest any more people because they'll probably hang themselves in the prison."
Or it'll be reported that they did hang themselves. You know who came out against somebody big was Gucci, the granddaughter of Gucci. I just saw this recently. I haven't been sending you stuff because I didn't know if you saw it or not.
Oh man, I've been. Well, let me see if I can pull this up. Which one are we on? Is it on this one? I was going through
Alexandria Gucci. She's come out against her grandfather, her stepfather, against Gucci, the brand, and spoke against them. But they're all owned by the same parent company. I forget what the name is, but it sounds like. But I see you say, is Balenciaga partnering with Disney? Would not be surprised.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, and everybody's in an outrage over it. Well, yeah, okay, y'all are in a real outrage, or is it bullshit outrage, or something else outrage? I don't really know what's going on with a lot of this stuff. I find so much of it to just be ignorant. So, when you look at the trails, especially trails I've been being sent the last couple of weeks, the different stuff we've been seeing and how this company is connected to this company, or they're through the advertisement, they're both tied together through these other companies. You see a lot of the same names coming up here, there, and other places. It's just when you see these things, you have to stop and think, okay, how can this be so blatant when it's so easy to go to jail for these topics? I mean, a lot of the stuff we're talking about today,
forever.
They have been doing it forever. There's no doubt about that. So, but which group are they? So this came up the other day. I was talking about this on another radio show. And we were talking about, you've got these people who did these ads to start off with, which were ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about is a couple of months back, our advertisement company did a set of ads with teddy bears, with children and teddy bears. Okay, no big deal, right? No big deal. So you got some kids standing there with some outfits and stuff around them, and they're holding teddy bears. Okay. Well, when I forgot who originally sent me the first article, I said, "What the f is this? Why are you sending me? This is stupid. I don't want to see teddy bears and kids." And they're like, "Joe, you just look." And I'm like, "Look at what?"
Bondage.
So when you started looking at the teddy bears, each one had its own little porn outfit on. That's as politely as I can say it. And then on the tables and stuff, there was scattered articles about pedophilia and people who had got off from being pedophiles. I said, "What the f am I missing here?"
I just sent you Gucci with Harry Styles with baby crib in the background and the creepy teddy bear that's a t-shirt that's $800.
Emily just sent me something too, so I'm gonna pull them both up in a second. First off, I want to know who I'd like to meet the person who set up this ad thing. Now, according to Balenciaga, they said they didn't actually. This is not what they actually ordered. okay, so I know big companies. We're talking multi-million-dollar ad rolls here. These are not $500. These are not 500,000. These are 5 million, 10 million, 25 million ad setups. So you're telling me that no one from your company reviewed these ads before they hit the major television? I'm not believing it. Now, maybe they're ignorant like me and just didn't see it. I could say that. I'm really not feeling it, because if that's what you do for a living, you would have noticed that kind of stuff. And you decided that this is how you're going to put your product, which, by the way, I'm not even sure what the product was in these ads. I asked somebody that the other day. Is that children's clothing? That's what that was? Oh, my God.
Yeah, and there was bondage on the teddy bears. And then
they were all over the place.
I'm sending you Alexandria Gucci.
The teddy bears themselves are handbags.
Wait, say
go ahead,
again?
G. Sorry.
Jay?
Sorry, Jay?
The teddy bears themselves are also product. They're handbags. That's part of the ad.
Oh, was it? See, I didn't even know that. So this, I would have to go. First off, I would fire whoever's in charge of my ads. They would instantly be fired. So you're out of here. I'd call the ad company and say, I want a complete refund, and I want you to pull this ad from every place it's been rolled out at. Unfortunately for them, it's been rolled out enough that it's on the internet now. It's not going to go away. Unless you can talk Google and scrubbing it for you, which is they're probably not going to do it, because Google don't care about stuff like this. This isn't in their purview. Maybe they're not involved or something. I don't know, but it's not in their purview to pull it. I personally don't understand, why no one's investigating this. Now, where's this company based out of? It's not a United States company. So where are they based out of? Spain or Italy or somewhere over in Europe or somewhere? I'd have to check them out to be 100% sure, but I didn't think they were a U.S. company.
Well,
because I would have figured someone in Congress would have at least wanted to do some kind of investigation just to boost his damn name. Okay.
Well, that was the thing about it, is that everybody that was
the pictures with teddy bears.
I'm filing a lawsuit.
I'm going to send you this.
That was the thing, is that.
Sorry, Del, go ahead. Sorry.
That was the thing about when they were starting to look at this, when all the questions were arising, is that, just like you said there, Joe, is that it goes through executives, it goes through all these different people that have to sign off on this, and they got to do all this vetting and checking about who's doing things. And when the ad came out, and then people started looking at who was the designer, the layout, and all that stuff, these people's portfolios held a lot of stuff with child bondage, really sick imagery and art, right? Because it was whatever they wanted to call it, sort of their own art, and looking at the stuff that was there. And in the background there too, in the ads, there were books of famous people that had been convicted pedophiles, and then there was files there too of people that had been charged with things. And so when people started looking into it a little bit more, they were asking more and more questions. But the other part about it too is that with Kim Kardashian being involved in it, she had no problem with it until the public started saying, like, what is this? And that's when she got her little nose bent out of shape and says, I better jump on the woke wagon here, or else I'm going to look pretty stupid here.
And
this has been going on for a while, though, and it's gotten away. I just sent you another scandal with the LOL dolls with little kids, that you're supposed to be able to talk this doll and push a button on the belly. Well, the belly button doesn't work. You have to push between the legs, and it makes all these inappropriate sexualization noises when you're touching the doll. Like, a lot of this stuff's been happening. I think it's been happening for a while. It's just people are starting to wake up and realize you're getting it all over.
Yeah, well, they need to start waking up. I mean, Jesus. Yeah, what gets me, though, is how long this has been going on. And I'm looking right now, it's not even hurting their sales any.
Mm-mm.
I'm like,
wait till you see the Harry Styles ad with it's like almost an $800 t-shirt with this creepy pink teddy bear. And it took lyrics from his songs, Watermelon Sugar, but they're kind of creepy, the sayings on there. And he's got a baby crib mattress in the back and teddy bears again, same thing, but Gucci. Like, what is a baby? And he takes his pants off in the ad too. Like, he's not naked, he's in underwear. But why does a baby crib mattress belong in the back? So I know that's the next scandal. It just happened this week. I was looking into it.
So this company's out of Spain. I was wondering why nobody in our Congress has decided to investigate him yet. Okay, Sam Salmonstein in Spain. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought somebody else owned the company. Actually, I'm gonna have to look. Maybe he was the founder and somebody else owns it now. These companies change hands too.
Balenciaga is the name of the guy who opened up the company, and they've got off in Paris and Italy too.
Yeah, well, I say they got locations all over the place. I was just seeing who had founded them and where they started from, and I just kind of found it interesting to.
There's a lot of stuff going on with kids, though. Like I have a toy up here I'm going to film a video on, and Dell actually found this series by Disney, since we're talking about Disney, called The Owl House. The main character, not a problem, transgender, fine, but kids are getting that crammed down their throats. I'm not making an issue or statement against anybody, but my point is the main character's name is Luce, after Lucifer. The main character is a demon dog. There's all kinds of pagan and sigils stuff in the background. It's all this magic and telling people about spells. And this is geared to the tween age. We watched the whole series. And it was like, you think, right, Disney, it's a cartoon, you know, you see what it's geared for and you think it's safe. Same thing, this toy, it's right up here. It's a cauldron and you have to do a spell with it and add in all these steps like to the spell and do all these words. And then you flick it. It's called magic mixies. And then it pops open, there's smoke and an animal comes out, really cute animal. And you activate it with the wand. And this thing starts talking, but I am telling you, some of the videos I've seen, I swear to God, there's some Latin words coming out of this. I'm not trying to be all conspiracy here, but these are impressionable young minds, right? And like you say, this clothing stuff that's coming out. So people are starting to wake up. I think we're getting a lot of this everywhere.
Well, we're going to see a lot more people starting to pay attention to this because, frankly, everyday normal people don't think this is cute. You know, maybe the really, really stinking rich people think it's cute, but nobody else seems to think it's cute. And you got to wonder why. I mean, I understand that, you know, the more risque, the better when it comes to fashion and model because you're going to make more money that way. Dragging kids in is always just stupid. In the end, you're going to lose. You might do okay for a while, but sooner or later, somebody's going to catch you. In the end, you're going to lose because popular opinion is going to go against you. But right now, judging from their sales and all, I'm not thinking not so much.
Any press is good press, probably.
Well, for them it might be because because for them it's different. It's like, okay, well, we didn't do that. We're sorry. No, it wasn't us.
That's all they did.
All our products. You look at our products from Gucci and from all these other companies. We only do good products. We didn't know anything about that. Well, okay, we all know that's bullshit. That's the only way you can say it nicely is it was total bullshit. But still, they're out there saying this, and they're saying, oh no. No, see, as soon as y'all told us something about it, we pulled it immediately. Still, whoever was supposed to watch over this didn't see it. And then once it was running on television, nobody noticed this. Just fundamental. And if this was in the United States, this would probably go down a lot harsher because, you know, a lot of people here would start protesting and getting up in their face and going to Congress. But that's not going to happen.
We can't protest in Canada anymore.
You know, yeah, I know. Y'all get put in jail for it up there, man. What the hell's up with y'all?
Get your bank account frozen and everything else.
Soon y'all gonna be communists at the rate y'all going. I mean, Lord have mercy.
Well, that was like that thing with Jordan Peterson there. Now that Justin Rainbow Pants there has passed the thing there is that he has to go in for testing now to maintain his license, or he's looking at jail time possibly in that to make sure that he's copacetic at being talking about psychiatry and that. He was a teacher and taught in university and that, but for him to maintain anything, he's got to go in for this review board, and so that's a big contention that's going on right now.
He's a psychologist, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna play a couple of these. Let me put this one up first. This one came from Emily, I think. Then I got a couple from Laura Lee, and then I got a couple from Amelia. So let's start with this one. I think it's short and 29.
I just haven't been. I do this all day long.
Invite. Well, this is just part one of this show. The more we get into this, the deeper it's going to get because there's just too much of this to let it go. Wait, no, I don't want to invite. I don't know what the hell I was doing there for a minute. I get tired of hearing about it. I'm like, look, and when this was first brought to my attention, I laughed my ass off. First off, I was like, whatever. I think Amelia brought it to me, and I was giving her shit about it. It was actually after one of the shows, after one of the Out of Realm shows, she was telling me, I was like, Amelia, get out of here with that shit. And she starts sending me links, and still I'm like, leave me alone. And then I caught the first whiff of it on the news. I was like, what? I was like, what the hell's going on here? And then I realized, somebody's been paying attention and I wasn't. And is this the one we want right here? Yeah, let's try this one. Let's try this one right here. Is it on the screen with us? Okay. Is the volume on? The volume is on. Okay, let's play it and see what it said. This was sent by Emily.
If you'd like to see the level of pure evil that we're dealing with, look no further than the newest edition of Vanity Fair.
Oh, I guess it was that fast? Did I do that? Hold on. Maybe I did that. How did I turn it on mute? Damn, man, quit. Right.
This, my friends, is spiritual warfare. Good versus evil.
That set the Christians off for sure. Let's do it one more time. That definitely set the Christians off.
If you'd like to see the level of pure evil that we're dealing with, look no further than the newest edition of Vanity Fair.
Holy manoli. Every Christian I know is going to be in an uproar.
I could barely hear it.
This, my friends, is spiritual warfare. Good versus evil.
All right, well, that was interesting. Let's drop that out of the queue. That was, okay, Christian friends, don't write to me. I didn't have anything to do with that. Emily sent me that. It was, y'all can bitch at Emily next week, but I don't, if I was a Christian, I'd be pissed.
What about this? This is what I was grabbing. Good thing I muted it. This is an actual cauldron. This is the wand. There's a bunch of spell bottles and stuff and potions. This is a kid's toy. And you do it all in succession and you have to activate it with the wand and all the smoke comes out. It pops open and this little animal comes out. Super cute. It's going to look like probably this little character on the front there. I don't know if I can show you. Yeah. And this, like, I'm sorry, but there's nothing wrong with magic and spells, but I think that you should know something about it and be mentored and make a choice. Like a parent could buy this because their kid wants this. And we're seeing this sort of a lot more places. And again, I know it's not directly related, but what I'm saying is it seems to be coming at our children from all different aspects. I'm going to make a video when I do this and see what happens with it. It was on TikTok. But like I said, this thing on Disney too, and we're seeing it, with a lot of TV shows. And now, like I said, fashion, you're seeing it everywhere. And it's kind of scary, I think, because as a parent, holy crap, thank God my kids aren't little, because you pretty well got to go through everything, I think, nowadays to check it.
What you do is, oh wait, here, let's pop this one on. This is the one that Laura Lee sent me. Hold on, where's present? Come on, present, show screen. Dun, 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 dun. Party like it's $20.99. Yeah. Let's actually put it where you can see it.
There's the doll. Yeah.
That pervert doll. Every time these dolls get weirder and weirder every time I see it. It's so in case y'all don't know, ladies and gentlemen, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, but they have sets of dolls out there. The only way I can describe them is, how can I be polite about this? Disgusting. Some of the things I've seen.
I sent you the Harry Styles stuff too.
Okay, wait. I think this is the Gucci girl right here. Yeah, hold on. Let's pop her in right quick. Wait, hold on,
She's
Gucci girl.
She's the granddaughter of Gucci. She's suing them.
How long? Yeah, it's real short. So let me pop her in real quick. And people, y'all can find these links for yourselves. You can probably see them when we're popping them in. But okay, I say we're popping them in. Damn, I got hungry after I ate a bunch of pork chops. Same on me.
That sounds good.
All right. Okay, here we go. Let's put this one on play. Dun, dun, dun.
Against my stepfather, mother, grandmother, and others because I was sexually abused by my stepfather, Joseph Ruffalo, from the age of 6 years old. My mother, Patricia Gucci, and grandmother, Bruna Palombo, did not protect me. They did not shield me. They allowed it to happen. But I am coming forward publicly today because, as hard as this is for me, I feel it is my duty to expose the misconceptions about child sexual abuse and to raise awareness that every single day we, as a society, are failing to protect the most vulnerable and innocent among us, our children. If you think this doesn't happen here in Beverly Hills, then you should know that my perpetrator still lives in California, spends time at the Bel Air Country Club, and volunteers in your children's hospitals. This is not something that only happens to other families in other neighborhoods or other countries. It is everywhere and happens to children in all countries, all states, all ethnic backgrounds, and all neighborhoods. I'm also speaking out because when I was abused and sexually assaulted, I had no one to protect me, no one to save me, and no one who did anything about it. This is far too common. There needs to be accountability for those people who look away and who don't stop child sexual abuse from happening. That inaction is costing us lives and robbing children of their future. Once children have been abused, they will struggle to come forward because they believe they will be judged. But it is the perpetrators and those who protect them that need to be judged, not the survivors. Survivors of child sexual abuse, myself included, will tell you that this is one of the worst things that can happen to you. You lose your childhood and you fight against the painful legacy abuse leaves with you your entire life. In my late teens and early 20s, I experimented with drugs for a couple of years to help deal with the memories and the trauma of my abuse. It took me many years to become more grounded in who I was. And in some ways, I'm...
So I guess that was the end of that.
Yeah, but she came out with this, and now this around the it seemed to be really pick up steam around this now that Gucci has put the stuff
This
out with
is Dr.
Harry
Arnold T.
Styles.
Petzworth. Yes, that's his given
Sorry,
name.
guys.
No, don't.
Get out of there. Okay.
Because that was the part I sent you first, was you can see some of the pictures, you can see the article about it. And this is really, and it's just interesting that she's heir to this fortune. I don't know if I think part of that video, she talks about renouncing the fortune because she's come out and called them out. But the whole thing is now Gucci's involved with the same type of scandal as Balenciaga.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it seems like they are. It does seem like these children keep repeating. It just seems to be something that repeats in all of these families. It's not that. And then, of course, we can leave from that family and go to one of the biggest families in the world, which is a Christian church, and find that it seems to repeat. It's
a whole show on that one.
I know, but what I'm saying is so it seems like, and I hate to say it this way, it seems like when people get enough power, they can't help themselves. They feel the need to abuse. Now, I do know that people who have abused will do one of two things. They will either overcompensate sexually, or they will abuse themselves. They will abuse other children. And it's something that seems to repeat. And there are ways to stop this. But for some reason, it doesn't seem, and it's not just our country, it just doesn't seem like the world feels the need to put a stop to this, at least not the powers to be. The everyday people feel the need to put a stop to it. But we, even with all the power, with all 8 billion of us running on this planet, we still seem to have a hard time putting a stop to it. I mean, this is 2023. Child trafficking should be a thing of the past. And it's not. It's bigger than it's ever been. It's all over the place. It crosses Marcus. No, okay, dude. I ain't going to be an argument about you, but there's child trafficking in the United States. There's child trafficking in every country on the planet. Oh,
absolutely.
Yes. Don't even think there's not. There is.
There is.
And even if there wasn't, home abuse cases, the kids don't speak out that often. You don't hear it because they're scared to death by their abusers. So, I mean, it's hard.
It happened to me in my family as a 5-year-old. It did.
And the other problem is so many people abuse this, that's what makes it hard. I think that's what makes it the hardest thing in courts, because sometimes 10 years later you'll find out that the kid was lying, or sometimes just a couple of days later you find out the kid was lying. So it's a tough
depends
thing.
what the kid says and the age that they're
It does.
reporting. Hard 10 years later because you've got the
yeah.
language. But if you can get a child, say a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, and some of the language they're using, or most children, you would hope, would not be exposed.
But a lot of times it's not the kid so much as it is the other parent schooling the kid and what to say. Now, we've seen that a lot of times. According to police, I think it's only 35% of cases children abuse turn out to be real. The other 65. But, okay, people, don't take that out of context. Remember, in this country, there's 350 million people. And if 35% turn out to be real, that's a lot of people. I mean, we're talking at least 60 or 70 million people who have been affected by this. And we're not talking about Canada or Mexico being thrown in there. If we do that, that's like 170 million people who have been affected by this. And for some reason, it might be higher. And for some reason, again, we don't feel the need to step in. So in this country a while back, we used to have a law that provided psychiatric, any kind of child who said they had been abused, we supplied psychiatric, or if you were gay or things like that, we supplied free psychiatric. But for some reason, the Democrats in our country decided to take that away and leave these people without support. Well, odds are, if you've been abused and you without support, you're going to probably become an abuser.
Well, you know what else? Or
something good. Or a user might be a better way to say it.
What else they're finding? It drives Del crazy. I keep promising I have no ideas of doing this to him, but I do follow true crime. And part of the reason is I'm really trying to figure out what's gone wrong with these individuals that has twisted them so badly to hurt another human being like that. And a lot of it they are finding, I've looked at, a lot of psychologists have been following this, and they say a lot of this starts, not always, but a lot of it, their childhood. Not always sexually abused, but there's been some kind of horrific abuse. And they've been saying that people are asking, well, how can we stop this? And it's like, you need to be better with your children, because the US and North America, I'll say, has a larger number, it seems, of, say, serial killers and stuff like that. And people are asking the questions, well, why? And I think it has to do really more with developed countries where divorce is bigger, right? We need a dad in the family. I'm sorry, we do. We need a man in the family. And we're defining this, right? My kids are products of divorce too. Divorce is high. People have to work. Kids are home alone. And then when coupled with the abuse, and I'm not saying that's the answer to everything, but they're seeing that. That's what they keep saying. These people that work in these fields is we need to do a better job with raising our children in the way of not exposing them to the things that are causing this kind of trauma.
And we do.
Thought.
But for some reason, again, we I don't know what it is, but we just don't feel the need to intervene. I mean, we have huge law enforcement. I mean, we spend billions of dollars a year, hundreds of billions of dollars a year in our country on law enforcement. And for some reason, this is a topic that goes unchallenged. And it's more than, but it's even worse than that, because even when they catch somebody, they don't offer any kind of help. Oh, we'll just lock them in prison for 10 or 15
help.
years.
Like say somebody actually, because it starts, it seems, from and again, I'm not an expert, just the research I've done, somebody around, just getting into the early teens, starts thinking about these type of things. And if that is your sexual preference, like you're drawn, say, to children, how do you go for help? Think about it. Where do you go? Who do you ask? Because it's not like it's socially acceptable, and I'm not condoning it. I'm not condoning it in any way, shape, or form.
It's like those. That's a good segue for those dolls. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, Kate, and I'll see if the link's available, but I don't know if it's still available in the U.S. It's still in China and places like that. But so when Stephanie, a good friend of mine, Stephanie Betty, who used to be a co-host on News on the Flip Side, when this was brought to our attention, we did a big show on this. So these were dolls about yay tall, 3.5 foot tall. They looked like they were between 10 and 12 years old, completely anatomically correct. They spoke. And so the guy who invented this said, this is his words, not mine, that he made these dolls in case someone who was a pedophile and had an urge to go for a child could use this instead of a child. Okay. I listened to it. I'm thinking, sounds stupid to me, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So what happens after a year or 2 years? He's tired of the fake thing and wants the real thing now. I don't know, but there is one thing he did say: when you buy one, you're now on the list. So the FBI probably picks it up immediately. And but still, I haven't heard anybody being arrested for it. And somebody said it was illegal to buy them in our country, but I know they've been in here because other people have done news reports on them being here. And then they got the other ones that came out recently that are just the face that talks to you and all, but it's just a face, and the faces had the what's on them. It's I'm all for toys for adults, but there's no anything that should be looking like a child. I mean, just nothing. No. That's just sick. Nothing should look like a child. When we first seen these dolls, because Stephanie sent me the article, I said, "You're full of shit. You just went and found some bullshit to mess with me with." She said, "I'm telling you, you better go look it up." So, we used to spend a day reviewing our articles before we did them for the show. And we must have pulled up 75, 100 articles of this thing. And I told her, "Man, we got this on our computer now. The Fed's going to come arrest our ass." It's a good thing we have. It's a good thing we have a news show, man. But when you see them, no, Gene, I ain't pulling them on this computer. Fed be knocking on my door tomorrow. It's when you seen them, you were like, "You got to be shitting me." I mean, they look like a kid, and they didn't look like a rubber fake kid. They looked like a kid.
Oh dear God, that makes me sick.
So I was like, okay, and it made a big storm.
There's hundreds of companies online that are selling them. I don't think they're slowing down at all. And if you look at any of those, most of the dolls have like an Asian appearance to them. So I don't know if that's like the preferred type or not, but
well,
my goodness.
I know a couple of old guys who used to like to go to Asia and get young kids because it's legal over there. It's not legal in this country. They put you in jail in this country for it, but over there it's actually legal. But what Americans don't know, because Americans are stupid, if you go to another country and do something illegal or do something there that's illegal here, you can still go to jail for it here. Yeah, you're supposed to conduct yourself in a manner that you would do in your country, not in somebody else's country. So I've never heard anybody go in jail, but I know a lot of people who used to go over there. I know one of the accountants we used to work with. Now he wasn't a porny. He married. He was I don't know, 50 something. She was 19. They had a kid together. He used to go over and see her every couple of months. They wouldn't let her come to the U.S. He tried to bring her to the U.S. a couple times. They said no. They just wouldn't let her come here. But still, I mean, she was barely legal when he met her. And there's a lot of that barely legal goes on, but there's a lot of 12, 10, 9. That's just, and over here you'd be spending at least 10 years in jail for that. And over there, it's like, no big deal.
I think it's a problem. How long was that show To Catch a Predator?
George Burns?
Wait, what
sorry,
was that?
Jake.
Yeah. I think it still goes on. It's still going on.
Yeah.
You guys remember George Burns, the comedian?
Yeah.
Well, he was 83. He married a 21-year-old. They had a child together, and I mean, he's since been passed. But no one said anything about this. I mean, it's really she's legal, but some year division that's huge. But no one said anything because everything was upright and legal.
Well, my dad was a pervert because he was 55 when he met my 17-year-old mom, and they got married and had one kid, and then that kid got put up for adoption, and then they had me, and then they had a set of twins who got put up for adoption, and then they had my sister. So it was kind of a strange group. Now, I never met the first one, but I met the set of twins. My brother and I actually talk pretty, from time to time. I haven't talked to my other sister in a while, but my baby sister I talk to from time to time. My other two sisters, and my oldest sister, she lost two sons. One who was pretty much a billionaire. He was gay, but he's pretty much a billionaire. And her middle son who died, he was young. Let's see, he died. Well, it was 37 years ago, so he would have been about 20 something, 23, I think, because that's the age I was. Because 2 weeks after he passed, we found out Linda was pregnant with Joey. So I was like, yeah, he's just coming back to fucking irritate me. Excuse my language. It's but it's hard to lose your own kids, man. It's
I can't even imagine.
It's two in one lifetime. I mean, and she's old. I mean, she's in her 80s. She still goes swimming every day, and she's a healthy old bitch, and She got one left, and it's I wouldn't want to think about it. I wouldn't want to think about it. Jimmy Lee Brown, where are you writing in from? Where? Couscous. What? Just give me a country and a city, man. United States. Oh, you're in Los Angeles. I know what the hell you are. You would just give me the neighborhood you're in. Yeah. I will be in Los Angeles in the last week of April. I surely will. I will be out there going, hey, baby, how you doing? Mm-hmm. Last time we went to the strip club, they paid me and the Christian and the Australian guy to get up there and strip. Yeah, man.
You always got this story.
Listen. Do you know how much money? Do you know how much money you'd have to pay me to get on stage and strip? Oh, my God. Plus, I'd scare everybody out of the place, but still, it would cost a mint. No, y'all can come see us. We'll, I don't know what hotel.
No, I'd pay extra money to have you put extra clothes on.
I think most people will be throwing the money. Joe, put your clothes back on. I'll tip you $1 man. Just put your clothes back on. It's shit. No, I don't know. The last 2 years we were at the Roosevelt, but they told me they were changing hotels this year, and they haven't told me where. And I won't find out until I get my flight and all of that. That'll be the last week of October. Yeah. What do you mean, Dell? Oh, Dell's trying to look like Jesus? What?
We have a picture of Dell, okay, in our old trailer, and it was around Easter, and he had his hair down. Dell, when I was first started going out with him, had hair probably about as short as yours, Jay. Anyways, he's standing in the trailer, and I went, I don't know what he was doing at his arms. I went, oh my gosh, you kind of look like Jesus. No disrespect. And I go, I gotta get a picture of this. And he does. He looks like Jesus. So he's standing with the long hair and again, a bit of a beard.
Yeah, that's how it works. You got to watch it. When he said all my hair on my head and it was long hair all the time, I get it all the time. I'm like, nope, wouldn't want his job. Couldn't pay me to have his job. Just don't. I said, somebody said that, and I said, you know what? You better be grateful I'm not. And they're like, why? I said, because you see all you whiny bitches? The end of the world would already came for y'all. I said 5 billion y'all would be off the planet floating around in space. Oh man. No, Ginger. No, well, Amelia was telling me about a connection between this company, the advertisement company, and a bunch of other companies, and she was telling me about what's his name, Haitirt. What the hell is his name? Anyway, he owns or is involved in a bunch of these companies, and he's an actor actually, and it's just weird how many people are tied in. Like Dell was talking about Kim Kardashian earlier. You know, Kim likes to show her boobs, and that's about what you think about Kim or helping out to get people out of jail. That's Kim's call to fame, showing her boobs on television, and helping these
her
people
mom
get out of jail.
produced the sex tape. You know that, right? Like, because Ray J that was in it came out and revealed that in October he produced the contract. He produced everything. There was actually 3 takes, and he's got all the emails saying which one they wanted. The first one wanted it. He went through Vivid Entertainment with it.
So much of that was scripted, and so much of that was reshot over and over.
What mother does that?
She's greedy bitch.
What mother does
you know what?
that?
It wasn't, and let me retract it. It wasn't that she was a greedy bitch because she had money. She had a lust for fame, and she couldn't do it on her own. She married Chris. She had a famous husband, who was in the O.J. Simpson case, and then he died. So she marries Kris Jenner, who's now Christine, whatever her name is now, and so she marries this guy. Okay, I mean, yeah, Bruce Jenner. She marries Bruce Jenner, and who's Christine Jenner now, Kris Jenner now, and Caitlyn. You're right, Caitlyn. I'm sorry, and. So Bruce, this guy's supposed to be a manly guy. I mean, he's won 7 gold medals, and he's a shit, right? And so many guys worship this guy and looked at him here, and then later on we find out. Thank God I wasn't a big fan of his.
You don't think that's creepy that her mother, Kris Jenner, took 3 takes got Kim and Ray J to film basically a porno, and she reviewed every step of it and decided out of the 3 which one was
because
the best.
she knew when it was fake leaked. Eventually, it was going to be fake leaked, and she knew it, and she wanted them to look good. And
Joe, you're a dad. Think about doing this if you had you've got stepdaughters.
I wouldn't do it to my kids. No, I wouldn't do it to my kids. But that's
her kid. She did this with. That's my problem. Like, my God.
Well, the thing was that Kim Kardashian was friends with Paris Hilton. She was like her little part of her little girl squad. And the Paris Hilton sex tape came out, and they saw the buzz that came out of that, and that there was no ill effects of that. That actually she became a little bit more popular out of it, and that's where they got the idea out of it. It says, well, hey, look at you, you look better than Paris Hilton, and you're hanging around with that whole squad in there. We can go and get this here and produce it, and if we can spin it the right way, we can become rich off of this. And you can look about that's basically where this whole thing about branding came out. Well, just before that, but your name is the brand, everything is the brand, right? People don't really talk about the Kim Kardashian sex tape anymore. It's all about the Kardashian and Jenner clothing lines, all the other stuff that they're all involved in, and everything like that, makeup. And
well, Ray J came out with this just in October because I guess they brought it up on the Kardashian show and started blaming him again that he had leaked it, and I guess he just blew his top. He was going live on Instagram, and he had the receipts, as the kids call it these days. He brought the emails, he brought the voicemails, he brought everything. Like, this is quite the thing. But my thing is, what mother does that? Sorry.
Well, no, it's a lot of mothers do it. Unfortunately, you see, well, not the porn thing, but
it's definitely creepy.
These pageant moms. I mean, these pageant moms are insane, man. I mean, these
but you're not watching your daughter have scripted sex.
Might as well be. I mean, you got a little 6-year-old out there and a little.
I don't agree with that either. People got to do their own
I get
thing.
on the pageant people all the time.
That's a new level of creepy. When your mother watches your sex tape and you make 2 more, watches all 3 again, and decides what one is the best. She might be
getting off on the guy you were doing. You know, she might have just put her out of her brain and been just looking at the guy. You know, you never know with moms
like that.
moms are weird like that. You know, maybe she ain't had none.
It's still extremely creepy, Joe.
Bruce wasn't giving her none. I'm just saying.
It's disgusting, right?
I know.
I'm sorry. And I'm not a prude, but I will tell you, I don't want to see my kid having sex on.
Let me tell you what. If my mom was thinking to watch that, I'd be like, "Wait, what, mom?" I would have been. I'd been like, "Get back, mom." I'd be going, "You being possessed." No, that would have never happened. And I mean, there was a lot of money involved in that, so maybe that was enough to tip the scales. But
for sure, that is for sure. That was the whole case. It was the whole thing about being a nobody to becoming somebody, and having this.
And that tape did. That tape got them started, got their show started. Whole damn thing got off that one tape.
Yeah, I know. But
and personally, I didn't even think she was that hot.
When's there enough? Money doesn't bring happiness.
It sure does.
Well, no, you know, some money don't bring happiness. But I tell you what, I've had a lot of money in my life. I got to say, I've been happier when I've had 100, 200 grand in the bank than right now when I got 5. So I'm just gonna be honest about it. It's but I understand happiness. I mean, I've come from a wealthy family.
Yeah, but if you chose to put yourself on a tape, that's different, Joe. Like, that's your decision, and yeah, if it's going to be your,
I gotta stop and think in those bad years in my own any video. No, thank God I didn't have cell phones.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. As a parent, that's all. And I'm not a prude. I'm not. It's just I was just flabbergasted. I wasn't surprised.
I wouldn't want to watch my son. If I walked into my son having sex, I'd be like, "Oh my God, Jesus!" I'd have to go wash my eyeballs.
I was never a mother that stuck my head in the sand and said my kid wasn't having sex or whatever. My theory has always been in the digital age, especially.
I live in a house
that I thought of it at a certain age. No, if I thought of it at a certain age, my kid probably knew about it, was doing it 3 or 4 years earlier. With the age of the internet, porns, that the push of a button with a computer. I wasn't a fool about it. I mean, it wasn't a parent that said, "Oh God, not my kid." No, I knew he was doing it. I just don't want to know what you're doing, and I don't want to see it. Be safe. Don't go hook up with someone you don't know, and be safe while you're doing it.
Jacqueline K.
And I don't want to see it on a film.
Yeah, I definitely don't either. Jacqueline K. from Boston writing. What do you think happened to all of Epstein's files and folders? Well, you know that one building got blown up. Very coincidental that collapse in that building in Florida, Epstein had a condo in.
And that was due with McAfee was in that condo.
Yeah, McAfee was in that condo too. It was very interesting that all of a sudden, bloop. I'm not saying there's any conspiracies. I mean, according to the reports I read, it was fatigued, and you know, when you live in areas that get lots of storms, it is possible.
And just half the building blew up.
It was weird. Yeah, it was weird. It just collapsed. It killed a lot of people too. I mean, it was one of them things that, and I wouldn't have thought nothing about it if those two people wouldn't have been in it. I would have just said, yeah, well, shit happens sometimes. And I mean, we have buildings that collapse every once in a while, and usually they're way older than that building is, but still, once I heard who was in it, I'm like, wait, what? Said somebody hiding something, and or it was a way to get to something. I think it was more of a way to keep someone else from getting to it before they could get to it.
Dell watched a really interesting documentary. I don't usually watch, but I'll be listening. But I sat down and watched it on John McAfee, and because he was supposedly had a dead man switch. And that's what I think. I don't know, between maybe Epstein and McAfee, maybe that's why. I don't know. We're just discussing possibilities, not trying to be a conspiracy.
Well, where is McAfee now? Is he dead or is he in jail?
They say he's dead, but what do you think, Del?
Yeah, they said that he died in jail, but
I don't think he did.
But it's like the same thing as like that they still wonder about if Jeffrey Epstein's actually dead, because there's sort of little things on that there's sort of medical records and that could have been fudged. But when you have a huge amount of files of very important wealthy people around the globe, same with McAfee had a bunch of stuff. Well, he had that McAfee antivirus software, and he said that
the government used it a lot.
They said this was basically I could get all the files that just shared it. And he said virus protection software is a joke. It says it doesn't protect you from viruses. It says, but it allows other people to get all your information though. And so he probably had a huge file system too. And he was involved with crypto money, Bitcoin and stuff like that. And a lot of big international financial players were involved in that too as well. So he had that big thing there that he had on his arm there that I won't suicide myself or whatever. I can't remember what that tattoo is. And there's been a few people said that says if I'm dead, I won't. It wasn't because I committed suicide.
Yeah, he didn't look like type. I heard him in an interview. I think he was in Brazil, and because he had property down there, and he went to a couple places they couldn't extradite him. And why he came back anywhere around the United States was beyond me. It's not that he went, and I don't understand what he was in trouble for.
He didn't get extradited though. They said it happened
taxes.
in Spain. He was waiting.
It was because of taxation
money.
That...
I do remember it actually happened down there. It's McAfee was an interesting character, and he was he was interesting, and poof, he's gone. Epstein's gone.
He was running for president at one time.
But I'm still more interested in what happened to Epstein's files. Why have we heard Bill Clinton?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just going to say they claimed that it was Epstein's postmortem, like after. So I don't know if it got leaked or what, but it was just a side profile. So, and again, with Photoshop these days. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Sorry, you were saying something.
That's okay. No, that's. I just want to know what happened to all his files. I mean, why haven't we heard anything about Prince Andrew? Why haven't we heard anything about Bill Clinton, who was on a plane 27 times? I mean, we haven't even heard anything about Trump. And they hate Trump. You'd have figured at least something would have been leaked about Trump. And but for some reason, wherever these files are, these bitches are locked down, tied up. Hillary Clinton's probably got them, and they're not getting out of nowhere. And then they not only did they have his files, but they had her files. They had enough to probably take down a good chunk of our Congress and a good chunk of Hollywood, and poof, they gone.
Well, that's why she's sitting in prison, and they've been sitting on these files because the FBI and CIA both have those files, and they were supposed to be released, and the court case was supposed to go on, but I think it's just all delayed in court there right now, and they're just looking over what is top
and when all these bitches die, then they'll release them.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was like the whole part there with the January 6th files.
All redacted. Yeah.
With the January 6 files is that the FBI had put in there said that these files can't be released for 76 years, right? They wait till everybody's dead, right? And then the files come out. Oh yeah. We were, this was all a big, huge.
Everyone who's involved is dead.
Yeah. It's a big hoo-ha. Oh, well, sorry. Nothing we can do about it now. These people are all dead. And it's exactly why they do that. But I don't know. The country's pretty pissed at the FBI right now, so they need not to hope that the Republicans get too much more power because they may find themselves in a world of shit. Trump was already trying to get him in there, and if the Republicans win the keep the House and win the presidency and the Senate, they'll be hell to pay for the FBI. There'll be nonstop investigations until some of them go to jail. But the problem is it has been politicized, and you know I know a lot of people work at the FBI, and they're all good people. None of them would do this kind of shit. But the cream seems to spoil when it gets to the top. So
that's what I was going to say. I think it's the top because there's a lot of good people that work for them. I agree.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people. They save a lot of lives.
The upper echelon.
Well, because it becomes political, you know, that's where, you know, those people. So, you know, the head of the FBI is a Democrat. He brings Democrats up behind him, or he's a Republican. He brings up, it's a sad state of affairs. And then the DOJ we got, he seems to be in a daze sometimes. I wonder if he's on the same drugs on Biden's on sometimes. And, but he did appoint a special counsel to both of them. So that's a good thing. And as far as what's going to happen to these two presidents, probably nothing. Since they didn't do anything to Hillary Clinton for wiping out 33,000 emails, it'd be hard to convict either one of these presidents on the same basic thing. There is what's different for Trump and it's different for Biden. It is true. Trump took more on purpose, but what everybody keeps to forget is we think Biden's son is a traitor. So if he's leaving documents laying around for his son to take pictures of and send to the Russians or the Chinese, it's far worse than what Trump's doing. But nobody on TV wants to even talk about that. Scary cats, and it is a good chance that that's what's going on. He just would leave documents somewhere, and someone would come in behind him and send them off. And
that's the big problem there right now, right? So you got the Republicans have the House, and the Democrats have the Senate, and they were talking about this the other day. Is that even if they go to try and impeach Biden, it'll never get past the Senate. So it's sort of like it's at a stalemate, and even like it goes with all these people, the big wigs that are involved in international banks and whatever else. Is that the heavy hitter players that nobody hears about in the news that don't want their names out there? They'll just keep it all quiet because they own everything. They own it. They're all in partnership with mainstream media stuff and everything. So
yeah, and that's a problem. There's so much of this overlap, and everybody's. This lack of control for us and complete control for everyone else. It's just
the joke that we had up here too, Joe. We had that big tribunal about what happened last with the trucker convoy, right? Mm-hmm. And it was like the convicts holding the trial that set it up, and it was nothing but a joke. Nothing came out of it. Nothing. The truth came out, but nothing was done about it. It was ridiculous.
Well, because who are they going to put in jail? There's nobody going to really put in jail for them because it came from too high up.
Because the ones that were responsible for all the, and even CSIS, which is our like CIA, FBI in Canada here, admitted there was no need for them to call the War Measures Act, and they did. Nothing happened because the ones that did it are the ones that set up the tribunal. When you go to the top and you look at the names, nothing ever happens when you get that high. Plus, what are we going to do as a people? We can't even unite over small things. How are we going to unite over something like this? He can't even go out in public. He can't. People are throwing things, yelling at him, calling him names. Anywhere I've seen video footage of him, Mr. Pink Pants can't go out anywhere.
Well, yeah, because he shouldn't be in office anymore. He should be gone.
We can't impeach him. We cannot impeach. And the other thing I found out, we knew this anyways, he can be in power for as long as he basically wants. We can't get rid of him. His father was in power for, what was it, Del? 27 years, 29 years?
Yeah, 29. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They need to figure out somehow to get rid of him because sooner or later it's going to bite y'all in the ass. And y'all just become. Well, they were talking about this the other day. They were talking about Canada. The president, the Mexican president was talking about
all of them
Canada
are.
may become not a communist but a socialist country.
Absolutely.
The United States and Canada won't tolerate it. Y'all will get invaded. That's what'll happen.
I hope you do, because he's already
because what happens is if y'all become a socialist country, that means you'll break out of the pact, the North American Treaty, which means y'all can have dealings with Cuba and Russia and China. We're not going to put up with that.
Well,
because it becomes a national security risk for us.
if his stuff goes through with Bill C-11, Della and I won't be able to talk about things we're talking about right now. He controls.
Yeah, I've heard that from a couple people.
Mm-hmm. What we see, what we say on the internet.
So that means they'll be routing y'all, watching y'all. What they'll do is they'll put up something like Echelon or something, a keyword system, and listen for it, and that'll flag you. And I've been flagged a couple of times over the years for saying stuff, but when they look at my record and go, well, he's not like that. But I have been, and I've just been once or twice. I got a knock at the door, and I'm like, who are you?
Hi, Tamara.
Like, well, have you said this or that or the other thing? And I'm like, no, I've never said that. Well, I said, on the internet? I said, oh, yeah, I've said that.
No, now that we're on TV, they can see it.
They can.
Yeah, but you just go, this is the thing, you get away with all this stuff. It says, well, that was somebody that, with the new technology and facial changing recognition, somebody created that. That wasn't me saying that. Somebody else altered that.
Actually, Jack, on my Twitter page, I posted 3 shots of me and Britney Spears from when we were dating. Yeah.
Sure.
I posted 3 shots. Well, I told the story before. So her dad, I know her dad, and we did the remodel in the house. We're the ones that remodeled their house in Kentwood, which is not even 50 miles from where I live.
I'm going to highlight this for you, Joe.
So, hey, Tamara. Yeah, I did. It's you don't want to know where it's at. It'll just aggravate you if I tell you. It's in Buffalo, New York. Don't ask me why. I have not a clue. So I wrote to Ups and said, if you have a problem, let me know, and I'll send another 3, and then you can send me the other 3 back. So they haven't written back to me today, but I couldn't figure out why it was in Buffalo. It was going the wrong direction. But no, getting back to what I said. So I was up there. I didn't actually know who Britney Spears was. And I was up there working, and he said, have you ever met my 2 daughters? I'm like, no. And he introduced me to them. I'm like, yeah, okay. And honestly, I didn't know who she was. So she says, we're all hanging out. She said, y'all want to go for a ride in my boat? Well, she had a bad-ass boat. So, yeah, me and a couple of guys went and took a ride in the boat and had some beer, had some alcohol, and smoked some marijuana. And that was it. Went home. And so, the job in the house was about 18 months. So about 2 months in, 3 months in, we started, how can I say this politely? Delicately. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. She was dating somebody at the time. About 16 months, I think we were hanging out together. 16, 18 months, something like that.
You and Brittany?
Yeah. Well, I was hot back then. What can I say, guys? I was in shape, all muscles, well built. Had come out of Special Forces in the Navy. I looked good. I was a general contractor making really good money, not near what she was making. But still, she was like, wow. You want to know what she liked about me? I was a manly man. Her words, not mine. She was tired of playing with boys.
I'd love to interview her.
She's no, I'm not talking to her. Every time I talk to her, it's not. We're not even going there. It's just.
You know who else you know?
People always want to make this out to something that. Okay, yeah, she's famous. Okay,
you know whose daddy?
I didn't know she was famous.
Taylor Momsen from the Pretty Reckless. You know her daddy too. She's from Louisiana. You told me that before.
I know her. I know Taylor Momsen's dad. I worked with him.
Do you? Well, Joe's told me he knows her daddy too. He told me Joe before. She's out of New Orleans.
I know everybody's.
I'm sorry, cut you off. I think you should contact. We're on TV now, Britt. Come on. We got some nice people want to chat with you.
She was different. I'll tell you that much. That's all I can say. And then before we end this, so our lawyer comes and talks to me. I'm like, who are you? And he says, I was like, dude, back off. And he's like, well, you can't make all this part. I'm like, what? Because it still hadn't sunk into me that she was this big, famous person. It just had, because she was a country girl. She's running around in her Dixie Dukes and her
Daisy Dukes
top and Daisy Dukes and her bikini top and acting like a country girl, driving a pickup truck, going down to the boat. She's just in a typical, she looked good in cowboy boots and Daisy Dukes, by the way. But anyway, I mean, it was just, that's who it was. To me, it wasn't anybody else. And then I forgot who, I was actually dating somebody at the time too, besides her. So a friend of mine says, Well, Joe, I seen you with that blonde haired chick today. You know who that is? I said, yeah, her name's Brittany. He said, come here, sit your ass down. We're gonna watch some YouTube.
Take a
I'm
look
like,
at
what do
this.
you mean? He said, I mean, we can watch some MTV. And I'm like, what?
And then she
YouTube
said,
no wonder.
"Oops, baby, I did it again."
No, that was long after that, but he was going. I was like, he said, that's who you're dating. I was like, oh, I got to go break up with her immediately. It's like,
No, you would have had
we're-
your $500,000 by now. You wouldn't have to work.
No, I don't think I think I could have dealt with her. And she
And
really
you wouldn't
liked
have
a
had to
lot
make a
of.
sex tape like Chris Jenner.
I know she really likes certain types of bad things, and we'll leave it at that. She had some bad habits, and I just got out of the military. My body was clean. I wasn't wanting to do anything. I was barely even drinking anything, and that's why she liked me, because I was just like. That's all she was looking at. She wasn't worried about was up here. I had no idea. So not even a little bit.
All of us go through our bad boy stage, and then some of us end up liking nice guys.
I was angelic. Like she was the cougar.
Some of us like nice guys too. So
I was just a little sweetie pie. And but you just Louisiana's a weird place. A lot of famous people come through here, and if you live here long enough, you're going to meet famous people. It's like. My wife and him were out in the French Quarter when they met Barry Manilow. He was just cruising through doing his thing, and they like to pass out. I'm like, what? I said, "Gay boy, get out!" Oh, not
I knew I was gonna. You just read my mind, because I was just wondering, has he ever actually come out? I knew. I figured.
I don't know. And then a couple months after that, they met Rod Stewart, and then we ran a rose company down here where we used to stock all these companies with roses. And Linda went up to the WRNO, the lead radio station down here, with 4 dozen of these beautiful roses handpicked for Stevie Nicks. Well, Stevie wasn't there, but Mick Fleetwood was. And what's his name? The other guy. Sorry.
Lindsey Buckingham.
Like an M. And so she handed it over to give to Stevie. So they gave us tickets to a special showing of Running Man in the theater. So it was all locked down. It was just us and them. And it was great. I thought Linda was going to die. Stevie was hot as hell too. I said, you ain't no Britney, baby, but you still hot. And but it was.
You have the Keanu Reeves story, and then he
that's my favorite one. So this is you're gonna love this. So I told this to a friend of mine in California, who's a regular on one of my shows. She goes, I don't believe you, but I know him, so I'm gonna call him and ask him. And she called me and asked him. He goes, I don't know. She said, yeah, you had long hair. Y'all went to a bar somewhere. She said, like 20 years ago, you were both drunk. She said, oh, shit, you mean that guy, Joe? He remembered. He told her, he said, oh, no, you can't make that public. He will kill me. He said, he's a Cajun, right? She started laughing. She goes, I know him quite well. He's a friend of mine. And she said, oh, is he? He said, yeah, he was telling me a story. I didn't believe him. He said, oh, yeah. Unfortunately, it happened. He said, I gave him a lot of tongue, and he looked at me like, you're going to die now. And I did kind of look at him like, you're going to die now, boy. And then everybody's like, don't hit him. You don't know who that is. You know who that is. And I said, well, what was that? It was funny because even the bartender jumped up. No, you don't know who he is. You don't know who he is. And, while I'm drunk, I didn't know who he was. When I seen the picture of us all together, I knew who he was. But I didn't know who he was. I was drunk as he was. It just caught me off guard. That's all, It's just because I wasn't wearing a beard and nothing. The hair was down. He was ponytail was big around. It's like he just lost his mind. What can I say? Then when he realized it was he was more embarrassed than I was, but still, it was one of them things. Like you're like, oh my God, no. And it wasn't. He was barely even famous. What he had done, not Encino Man. What's that stupid movie he did?
Bill and Ted's.
Yeah, he was hardly anybody, and he was very well unknown, and but it's a great story, and I would tell you where we were at, but that's illegal. So
you told some of the story. I keep bugging you. I promise I won't harass him. I just want to interview him.
If I ever see him, I'll ask him. I doubt I could even get close to the guy these days, but. Maybe if somebody told him who I was, but then he would think I was coming to get him. So he'd be like, because I still remember telling him, I will fucking feed you to the alligators, boy.
And Jay, Taylor Momsen's dad. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you meet, let's say, you live long enough, you meet people.
He owns a company in Gaithersburg, called Target, and it's like a office distribution warehouse, and I worked in the warehouse there for a couple of years.
That's pretty cool.
No, Carolyn, both them stories are true. If you can get hold of Miss B, you can probably get her to tell you. I don't think she would.
So if I write Britney Spears and I tell her and I say, hey, I got this super cool guy you used to date back in the day.
That's right. Tell her it was. Tell her. Oh, I shouldn't even. I ain't saying this.
Come on, Joe.
I ain't saying this. No, I ain't saying it. Get out of here. So something she used to call me. I ain't saying it. She'll know as soon as you would say it to her who it was. She'd be like, oh, yeah. I ain't missed that many drugs.
I'll tell her it was pretty boy just out of the military. And he was really buff. And
she used to call me her little bit. We ain't going to go there. And but hey, people need love, man. What can I say? I was in it for the sex. I wasn't in it for the love, but still, I ain't gonna lie about it. I didn't know.
What guy when you're in your early 20s is in it for the love? I'm sorry, but
but you meet weird people. Like, so we're partying one night at the dungeon. We're getting loaded as hell, having a good time, and I see these 5 people go by. I said, man, they look familiar. And the girl I was with, she said, man, they look really familiar. And we had just gone to a Foreigner concert that night, and sure enough, it's Foreigner. They're coming through, going to the back bar. Because the dungeon has a private bar. So we start talking to him, and he's like, the drummer goes, y'all got any pot? And I'm like, yeah, we got something. So everybody goes in the back and gets high. We smoked an ounce with these guys. They were great. I mean, they took great care of us. We had a lot of fun. Party with them for 3 or 4 days. It was not just us. It was a lot of people, but they were great. I mean, they went out of the way to be nice. They're rock guys. I figured they're going to be asked, what's and all of that stuff. And I got to talk to Steven Tyler one night for all of about 4 seconds. And I had backstage passes to meet Led Zeppelin when his son fell out the window. That really sucked for everybody. I was still in high school at the time, but the private school I was in, we had a concession stand at the Dome, and they were giving away tickets to get to backstage, and I won a set for me and 2 other people. And so we were just waiting. I mean, it was like 15 days out, and then we read that the kid he just fell out the window. What is it, 10-story building or something? And I was like, damn, I felt sorry for the kid, and I felt sorry for myself. That was just that. And so, first off, why you would set your kid on a window like that is beyond me, but it just happens. But you get and then other weird kind of famous people come through here, like, sports stars and stuff like that. You'll see that people like to come through the city. The city's got a weird reputation, and everybody comes here for something different. Everybody comes for the food, no matter what. But everybody comes, there's just certain things that people know about, they've heard about, and that's what they want to come here for. Different reputations. And some people just want to come for the churches, which is strange, but still they enjoy them. Some people want to come for the ghosties and the paranormal. Some want to come for the booze. Some want to come for the museums or the parks. It's a strange city. A lot of people come through. We've been U.S.'s #1 place to go for a decade and a half. We lose it every once in a while. Right now, we're ranked 6th in the world for places to visit. And we do have big international people that come through. There's a lot of them come through. A bunch of alcoholic sailors too come through a lot of times. There's 2 Navy bases, and then there's 2 ports for cruise ships. And when everybody's in town at once, we'll just say it's an interesting town to be walking around, especially if you're female. God, I feel for y'all.
I've never been down there.
Jimmy Lee. No, we're going to talk more about it, but the dolls, I had a thing of the dolls. I'll have to go dig it out of my file. I mean, I had a thing of the bears. It's just some of the outfits. Yeah, you know what? And I remember we posted it, and then one of our regulars wrote into me, he said, well, I'd like to see some women dressed in those. And I was like, what, in those little tiny ones? They were like, no, child. I said, hey, you said you'd like to see some women dressed in that. I'm thinking that wouldn't even cover one little spot on a female.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't bother me as much as when I seen like the newspaper clippings spread out on the tables about pedophilia. That really bothered me. That bothered me more than anything did. That was like a slick way of putting this into the advertisement without actually saying anything or even showing anything. It was just the papers laid on top. And it was in 3 or 4 of the advertisements. I was like, okay. And I didn't even know what it was until I forgot who sent it to. It might have been Amelia. It might have been one of them sent it to me. And I was looking at it. So I had to blow it up on my computer so I could actually see what it was saying. I was like, look at this shit. It was like 3 cases in Florida. I mean, in California, where somebody got arrested for it. Pretty much open and shut case, and they just let them go, no questions asked. I
There's
guess
a
if you
lot
got the
of
money and the power.
Hollywood kids coming out, like An Inconvenient Truth, I think it's called. There's a documentary. It's pretty open. It's pretty sad. I know Jeanette McCurdy. She was on iCarly. She did the talk show circuit. When was it, Del? Back in October? She talked about a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes. There's a lot of them coming out. Somebody sent me a picture recently, and I'll mention it, but I won't say too much. People can look it up. It's the Red Shoe Gang. And Macaulay Culkin has quite a story about that. And you see a lot of bigwigs, the last pope, wearing red shoes. And I'm not talking red bottoms. I'm talking red shoes. And pretty sad. And I believe it's probably true.
Let's see if we can post this. Jimmy, well, yeah, when we have Emily and Amelia, we'll invite everybody back, and there'll be 6 of us that night. That's all. And I'm trying to get my friend Martha on because she's knows about all of this, and she bitches at me all the time because I'm like, no, what are you sending me this shit for? She could hurt me. She would. People, trust me. It's okay. What was I doing? Putting this on. So this one was sent to me by Amelia. Let's pop this up here right quick. Chrome tab. Wait, which one was it? Oh, that one right there. This is disgusting. All right, let's put this on here. So first off, I'm looking at this. I'm trying to figure out what this is exactly and who this belongs to and why it was sent to me. And then I realized I started flipping through it. Okay, I don't exactly know what this is supposed to be. And then I flipped through it some more. Oh, wait, where'd it go? Sorry. Did I flip it off on us? What the hell did I do with it? Sometimes mamas don't let your babies grow up to be rednecks. Where did it go? What the bleep, man? Well, obviously somebody didn't want me showing that. Okay, did my fat finger hit it or something? All right, I'm gonna have to go back and find it. But I don't know what the hell that was about. Why it flipped off just now. It was working fine because the next set was even grosser than each set of those seemed to get worse and worse as we went.
Did it have to do with the adrenochrome?
So bad English. Yeah, that was this was another one of the ads that they were running.
Oh, ads,
or was mixed mixed in with the company actually. Where did it go? Well, it was way up in the beginning of Amelia and I's thing. I'll have to go find it again. But it's this stuff is just how in the hell people get away with any of this is beyond me. And first
it's
off,
not new, though. I don't think anybody's
it's not
really
new.
called it. And I know it's not new, but it's not new. That's why I was kind of surprised that people got so up in arms about this. I'm glad that they did, but it's not new. Same as Celine Dion has this clothing line with no gender for babies and stuff, and it's got some pretty dark stuff on the clothing, like baby sleepers and stuff. And again, as a parent, I guess if that's what you want to choose, but they were making a big deal out of it when it came out. I remember I saw some of the ads, all black and white, and pretty dark stuff and symbolism on the clothing and the ads.
And yeah, I forgot I sent the cat riding the unicorn to Amelia. But that's just it. There's so much of this dark stuff with these children involved. And somebody should be out there at least checking these ads before they hit the world. And since a lot of them are not on TV, I think part of it is a lot of them go in the news. They go in. I'm sorry, in the magazine.
I think it's really funny is that a lot of these things are commercials and they go international. They do whatever, but as soon as you do a podcast or anything like that, or anything that's on that's sort of separate out of that stuff is like automatically flagged right away by
as soon as we end tonight, I will make this archive private so I can download it tomorrow, because if I don't, we're gonna get a flag on it. And we haven't really talked about anything that hasn't been published all over. It's been talked about a lot, but we will.
None of it's untrue.
Yeah, and we'll still get flagged. I mean, this is stuff that other stories have been out there. These are coming from different news sources, and we'll still get flagged on it. It will still get flagged. We got so much stuff. I was reading some of the stuff that Amelia sent me about Epstein and Andrew and Prince Andrew and all that. Wait, he's not Prince Andrew anymore, isn't he? He's just Andrew now.
I have all kinds of stuff to send you. I just haven't because I didn't know if you were seeing it, but I have.
Well, we're gonna set these up so we can. Oh, that's food. Sorry, I got sidetracked by food. She sends me a lot of food stuff. It's but we're going to set these up so we can do these in a particular order for next time and see where they all go, because there's so much stuff here. And like right now, I'm going through this messenger link I have with Amelia. This thing, by the way, is a couple of months long now, and well, that's Joe Rogan. I wonder what he's saying.
If you remember a word from it, you can search in it.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just trying to get back up to the top. I was looking for the one I was just looking at, and
that's I meant. So if you remember a word in the article or whatever, you can search in it.
What's this, mommy? Or something. That's something else she sent me. And some of these links disappear. By the way, they don't stay. They go the way of the dodo bird. This is the one with Kim Kardashian. And wait, what is this one? Let's see. Is this something we can play? Wait, hold on. Somebody's hating on Kim. Let's put this on right quick. Is that? Oh, it's already on, isn't it? No, it's not. Isn't it not? No, it's not it. Oh, yeah, it is it. Why isn't it's not showing? Okay, mamas, don't let your babies go home to be crazy people. And no, it's not showing, so let's remove it.
Or Kardashians.
You gotta love the Kardashians, man. I mean, come on. So somebody asked me that a while back, which sister?
No, you don't.
Have you seen the girl on TikTok and YouTube that spoofs them? And she looks like Kim Kardashian. She is dead on. Her name is Yuri. I forget what her last name is. Well, I guess the Kardashians have caught wind of her, so now they send her stuff like PR packages and stuff. I'll send you.
Well, you know, sometimes when people spoof you or make fun of you, it's actually a good thing, not a bad thing. I mean, that's where UFO Undercover's
girl. She's absolutely gorgeous. She does look like she could be a Kardashian, but she makes fun of them. But she uses their voices and their sayings and stuff. Her clips aren't that long. They're on TikTok.
Oh, wait, this is Kanye West. Oh, wait a minute. We got to listen to Kanye for sure. Hold on.
Oh, I got lots on Kanye.
Let's see. Here we go. Kanye.
Come home, Kim. Come home to Christ. Go to God. Go to Jesus, because you saying you might not ever, or marry somebody. Great. Go marry Tom Brady, whatever you want to do. But get married and use your platform as an influence to keep families together. Don't let the devil use you.
That doesn't sound like his voice to me.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm talking about the secret held by the Kardashian family, particularly Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner. Now, you know that since the Balenciaga scandal was out and the ad was run and there was a public outcry and outrage, and you can see that since then, they have really kept it low. They've tried to keep it low. However, it seems like it's not really working because they're doing some things that are really getting to the public currently, especially at the point of using Kanye West's daughter, the 9-year-old daughter, to promote various products. I know those products are not Balenciaga per se, but the thing is that these are also its advertisement, and this child is really young, as 9 years old. So we're worried as to why are children involved to this extent in advertisements. Now, I know it's her child, but she's not doing her due diligence as a mother, to be honest. And the thing is, perhaps you're wondering why she never came out in time to really speak about the Balenciaga ads that was abusing children. And the fact is that she did a lot of things to get into Balenciaga and to be involved with the ads and the ad campaigns. And so it means a lot to her, so much, and the money as well. So she can't just pull out so easily like that. It's not the way it works in reality. And I understand that. However, I feel like it is still her duty to respect her children and all the public support that she's been getting over the years. Her fans made her this famous, and she knows that. So why is it so difficult to speak up and give up, as well as cancel Balenciaga, before everyone, to know that, oh yes, I believe in protecting children, because Balenciaga is a brand that has child abuse rooted in their history. That's the fact. If you read the history, you can see that these guys don't care about that. They're just after publicity and the money as well. They are quite satanic. That's the fact.
You better tell me something I don't know. You get ready to
That's
get
what
deleted.
she's meddling with right now, and she doesn't mind if that's the case. All she wants is.
I couldn't take it no more. He wasn't saying nothing. Sorry. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. The guy wasn't saying nothing. Sound like jibber jabber. It's I need facts, man. I need good stuff.
I'm sending you something good on it, but it's too long to play.
It's I was just watching while I was listening to that one. I was watching the one you sent me with the spoof people.
With the what?
With the fake Kardashians.
Yeah, she's funny actually.
Yeah.
She's pretty good. And she does them so dead on too. And then like she plays Chloe and she'll put the wig on and it looks like a rat's nest. Like, and then she'll do Chris and she does all the voices. Like she's pretty dead on. Like it's not that she's so funny. It's just that like when they're always eating salad, so she'll sit there playing all the carrot. I don't watch the show, but like she'll take all the characters and they'll be shaking a salad and they'll pretend they're talking, and then she'll do a cutaway like she's talking to in reality TV that she's so offended by something absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, she just spoofs everything that's been done on the show, makes fun of it. And I don't watch the show, but it's so vapid and ridiculous that's why it's funny.
All right, stop saying. Sorry. Balenciaga's show just opened up in my ear while you were talking. I just got to go. Stop saying stop. Bewitched. Now, well, we got Bewitched in there. Okay, some weird stuff done got up in here too. Okay, let's get closed out of there. Sorry, guys. That was a little bit insane there. I was looking at Balenciaga's fall show. That was interesting. They got some stupid outfits. Wait, what's Larry King in here for? Oh, I'm going to have to go see what this one is now. Hold on. I know it's getting late, so I got to get my butt moving. Let's see. Present. Okay, come on, present. Man, I'm hungry to boot. Plus, I ate a ton before we got started, man. That's never a good thing. How do you lose weight when you're hungry all the time?
I got a lukewarm pizza waiting for me upstairs.
It's Jay's fault. I'm freaking blaming it on Jay. All right, let's see what this guy got to say. Who's this, Larry King? Let's see what he's got to say.
Larry King.
A very strange plot where he was supposed to be my guardian or maybe my father. And it was all kind of strange. And finally, we end up getting married at the end.
Wait, what? Oh, that was Shirley Temple. I didn't recognize who that was.
Were you and he love interests in the film?
Yeah, it was a very strange plot where he was supposed to be my guardian or maybe my father.
You gotta tell me who it is, people. I don't know who this is. I know no one protected her because she was just a child star and nobody probably paid any attention.
It's not Shirley Temple. Is that Shirley Temple?
Wait, say that again. That's what it says, Shirley Temple's interview.
Who was? That's not Shirley Temple, is it?
That's what it's saying. It's saying her. Well, I lost it now, but it said it was her interview. Yeah.
Huh.
It's I didn't recognize it either, to be totally inside with you. It's kind of like I was kind of look at Kanye, man. We gotta love some Kanye. That's what Laura Lee just sent me some Kanye.
No, I sent you the one above from Dan Dix from Press for Truth. He's Canadian. And there's a trainer that's a Hollywood trainer to the stars, Harley Pasternak, and he covers them in that video. I had no idea he was Canadian, really high up in secret military operations, a part of the MK Ultra program. And he proves it. It's not like it's conspiracy or anything. The bottom video, some of the things that Dan Dix in the first video reports, this guy shows you the clips of Kanye actually saying it. And reading the text and stuff. Like I said, it's too long to cover on the show, but take a look at it and see what you think. It's quite the story.
Let's see. And it was two of them I was going to play, but I noticed when I went to play them, the links were going. They were about Epstein and something. It was some other girl, and the links were going. They were just, you could see they had been pulled. Oh, that's a pizza. We don't want that. After somebody we know talked about pizza, we ain't gonna mention their names. Jay, I mean, talking about pizza over there. What is this?
You're the one who's getting hungry.
Oh man, look! When I get out of here, I'm gonna go eat something. I don't know what I'm gonna eat, but I'm gonna eat something: pork chops, ham, some kind of. I might make breakfast if it's late enough. Let's see, or early enough. What is this? Yeah. Christopher, yes, you can find us on Roku. Just look on UFO Para. Normal radio. You don't have to type in all of that. I'm sitting right here. Go ahead and look while I'm looking at this link. I'm getting ready to post. You should find it without any effort.
On Roku, if you just type United, it'll probably be the last tile to the bottom. You'll find us.
Yeah. When I type in UFO and I hit P, it's already up for me. It's up there. So.
That's how I found us, because I couldn't find it otherwise. I kept looking, but UFO.
Yeah, I couldn't find. That's the only way I could find it. You found it? Yes. We're on live right now. As you can see our beautiful faces, we are on live now. Yes, we are. So hold on. We're going to post this article here in a second.
Yep, my friend is watching us in my TV room upstairs right now.
Yes. Well, I can only put so much sexiness onto the stage at one time. You know, I don't want to be burning people's eyeballs out and stuff. It's just, we got to be careful with this TV stuff. Yes, I'm serious, you dumbass. I'm just going to let that go all together. What is this? Ad boy. Oh, wait, we got to see this. Hold on. Toys for tots. Wait, that's the wrong button. Damn it, Joe. You're trying to hit the button on the screen. Toys for tots. Here we go.
Oh, dear God. Cruella de Vil, that's based on that. Oh, I know. Those are Disney toys.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to hit the speaker. Yeah.
Well, we're going to start it over so I can play it.
Am I seeing this right? Is this a joke? Like, what? I thought this shit was over. Like, did I just see that? Sydney, Australia coach. I thought this would be something I would only see from like Balenciaga, Gucci, and I thought it would be like over. Like we've boycotted that kind of disgusting child pornography crap. But it's there. It's like right there. I'm so uncomfortable right now. I've only ever seen it like online. Like it was only on TikTok, Instagram. I saw about like the Balenciaga child pornography thing, but seeing it in real life, I am gutted. Like way worse. And I thought it was over. Okay, anyways, boycott coach. Make that a trend. I am so uneasy right now. This poor kid is here in the store. Never ever entering this fucking store ever again.
Ooh,
if we want high quality items to purchase, we can still do that without the brand name being on it. Wearing natural material clothes like linen, wool, cashmere, cotton, silk for women. We can still do this without purchasing luxury brand names. Because disgusting shit like that, we just saw in the store. I
See, I like little clips like that because that's live. That's right there. That's in your face. That's
but is it in vogue for her too, Joe? Now that it's become a thing, I'm sorry, but
well, yeah, it's become a thing. Everybody's going to be looking. But I'm kind of with her. You know, why is it still here?
I agree.
Why is this not gone? Why haven't
and they're
got rid
based
of
on
this?
Disney, even though it's in a Coach store. They're based on Disney characters. That was Cruella de Vil. That was Ursula from The Little Mermaid. I'm trying to remember what else I saw. They were based on villainesses from Disney. So it's a partnership, obviously, then, I would think, if it's with Coach.
It's something.
Mm-hmm.
It's wait, what's this one? Oh, this is in text. No, this is too much text to read. Yes, people, when y'all send me stuff, send it with. Well, no, we can post text, but it's a lot to read when we're live. I mean, we can always post stuff and post the links, and y'all can catch the links later on. Well, we get sent a lot of stuff, and let's like tonight we're going between links that we have, links that Laura Lee has, links that, and we have links that Amelia had. We're just popping between them and looking and
people
seeing.
send me stuff like this all day long, so I send stuff to everybody else. Like I have kind of a list that I do it with, but they send me, and it's like you said, Joe, when you got friends in other countries, you kind of find out what's going on, right? Versus what you're seeing maybe in mainstream media or even in some independent media.
They Robert Maxwell Strange tragic death may have his daughters Jesselyn on path to Jeff. Maybe so, dude. But she looks like she was pretty happy with Epstein. It's I hate to get on that woman's ass because everybody's like, oh, she was forced into it. Every picture I see of her, she looks happy, in a good mood.
The Queen was at his cabin. I just saw a picture. It proved it. I saw it. Like I think there was a video clip, and then they were able to point out like parts of the knots in the cabin. I just saw this last night. I forget who sent it to me.
And see, that's the other thing that's bad about Epstein. So how much of what we see about Epstein has something to do with sex, and how much is just people hanging out on vacation at different places? He owned a lot of properties. He had a really good way of putting on good parties. So we don't know how much of this was sex related and how much was
the Queen of England when she was alive sitting on a swing outside the front of your cabin. Like that's not like just inviting somebody's grandmother over.
I know. Well, I mean, maybe she wanted to go see what Andrew's been seeing for so long. Maybe she was looking for a little, punk boy or something. I imagine they service both there.
Well, I have an interesting clip I'll send you. You won't play it on the air, I would bet, and I wouldn't want you to, but I'll send you a clip about something that's very interesting. I don't know if it's true or not, but person did it on a street corner calling out the one of the royals. I'll send it to you.
Wait, what is this? Real estate agent burned herself alive and shot. Wait, what? Where is this from? Oh, that's something I can't talk about on air. Damn it, Amelia, you can't send me account links. I can't talk about them on air. It's this is the one we talked about earlier. Is Disney partnering with partnering with Disney? Disney's partnering with everybody, but now your new boy's back. If they were, I bet you he kicks him out. This guy doesn't seem like he likes that kind of behavior. I mean, he's already pissed because they were trying to fill up Disneyland with transvestites. He's like, "What are you doing? People stop coming here." He actually told the board of directors. He said, "You do know if you do all gay people, all transvestites, people will stop coming to Disneyland, right? Y'all do understand that, right?" And he's right because people are already getting ready to start boycotting them. Yes, I'm glad about all that. I get stuff I can't talk about. Some things I can't talk about because it's not related to what we're talking about, or it'll get me in trouble with someone else. Jeffrey, what do you mean am I part of the Illuminati? No, I'm part of the Bilderbergs, man. Sorry. Technically, I'm part of the Masons because my dad was a Mason, and I'm not a Mason before you ask. No, I'm not. We were, what was the seat? I think it was 23 and a half or something. I'd have to go look. Well, my mom said it was like 15 and a half, but my dad said, I think it was 23 and a half, actually. Hell if I know, I'm not a member. It'll go 2 more generations in my family, and then they'll close the seat and give it to somebody else. My son can join. He's now 37, so he can join if he wants to. And if he decides not to, his child can join. It used to be only the man child could be in certain areas. Now it's probably both. And I don't want to be a Mason. I don't need their secrets. I got enough crap in my own to deal with, and that's fine. It's just like I didn't want to be in a mob, and family was in a mob. I didn't want to be in a mob. Some things you just don't need to be in. And this is one of my favorite arguments. People tell me all the time, the end of the world's coming, the one world's government coming. Well, who's going to run the one world government? I want to know who's going to run it. Is it going to be America? Is it going to be China? Is it going to be the Bilderbergs? Is it going to be the Snakeheads? Is it going to be is it going to be the Masons? I mean, there's a lot of families here in groups we're talking about. There's at least 7 families and groups we're talking about, and they all hate each other. So how can it be one world government when the people who have the power can't get along with each other? We're not talking about countries. We're talking about the people with the real money. There's unfortunately, and each one can't get enough power. to take over completely. Don't ask me why. They've all been around so long, and they're all so stinking filthy rich, it's hard for one to overpower the other one. We might see it one day.
Not an outright war.
Yeah, I mean, and who's going to side with what? Skull and Bones? I ain't siding with Skull and Bones. I have to side with the Masons. And then everybody who has the Skull and Bone will have to go shoot in the head. That's not a good thing. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I've never had a problem with these groups existing because there's lots of proof that show they exist, and there's lots of sneaky shit they've done over the years that proves they exist. That's not the issue. The issue is who's got the real power, which one has the real power. Masons have been along a long time. They've been around much longer than the Bilderbergs have been. I mean, and they have church backing. So do they have all the power? Skull and Bones, I mean, Skull and Bones is tied in with some of the, I mean, how many presidents have been Skull and Bones? I mean, they got a lot of power. So who is it? And then we have to remember the mafia, and then we have to remember the triad in China. So it makes it really hard for any one group. And I guess it's lucky for people like us that there is so many of them that they can't just take power. Because one of them gets power, especially if it's one of the bad ones. We're all the shit. Especially them poor Canadians, man. They'll be making Solomon Green out of them people.
Yeah.
We'll be repopulating Canada with Native Americans.
Well, haven't you seen all the stuff on cannibalism lately and Army Hammer about a year and a half, 2 years ago?
I will shoot somebody in the head if I see them eating another person. I just tell you right in front. So people, if you know me and you invite me over dinner and I see you eating somebody else, just know you get shot in the head.
Well, I know it.
I might feed you to my dogs.
The other thing, they're serving bugs up here too. They're trying to normalize it with kids.
Now that I've seen all over the place. Let's eat bugs. So they got a new thing out. It was funny. It was a cartoon thing about let's be with the reptilians and eat insects.
Yeah, but 70% of human beings are allergic to, from the research I was doing, when they're ground up and bugs are not clean, they trod through their own waste and it ends up on the outside of their shell, and when it's ground up, I've been reading some research that 70% of humans are allergic to that. So it can cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the U.S., you're allowed to have X amount of bugs in all food.
Yeah, same as coffee and stuff. Yeah, I realize that.
You know, and especially cereals and stuff like that, they have a lot of bug parts in it, and you're allowed to X amount. There's a standard to it. And people, before you say anything, bugs are high in protein. You know, a lot of our ancestors, not in this particular country or not the country above us or below us, but in the African nations, a lot of them ate bugs way back in the day. And I hate to say it, I eat mud bugs all the time. They are delicious. And I will keep eating it. Mud bugs.
Crayfish.
Yeah. That's right. Them crawfish are delicious, man. So I imagine some of them other bugs. Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. If you look at a crawfish that's eating dead stuff, you would think, why would you eat that? Same thing with a lobster, but they're good eating. So there are other things out there, you know, maybe like beetles or something that might actually be good eating. We don't know until we try, but
well, didn't they feed lobsters to prisoners back in the day? Because
remember they were so plentiful. Yeah, they were so plentiful.
The garbage of the sea. They were considered a garbage food because they clean up the bottom. They were like bottom.
All the shellfish and all. They had something about they wouldn't eat them, and then somebody, I don't know who it was, but somebody got to thinking, man, this shit is really good. And I mean, crawfish, we ship them out. Technically, we don't have enough crawfish to supply. I mean, China has to pick up the slack because we ship them everywhere now. And we're not the only state that ships them anymore. And, you know, you get good mud bugs. They're good to eat. Yeah, get some little squash garlic with them, some sausage, some corn, and just eat away. Yeah, well, down here it's called...
country boiled.
Down here it's called sucking head and pinching tail. Yeah. That's how you eat it. Actually, it's pinching tail and sucking head. I said that backwards because you pinch the tail and you suck it out of it. Yeah. Hey, look, I can't help it. Couillons are crazy, man. I was born down here. It's not like I said, hey, you know, when I was in heaven, I didn't say, hey, you know, I want to go live with these crazy bastards. I have to go whatever, you know, whoever I was born to. What's this Joe Rogan clip? We'll have to look at this before we get out of here. It's Wait, Joe Rogan, speak.
Be a vegan, because the farmers who protect your beans kill everything. I kill one animal per arrow. In order to grow tofu, you have to kill every ground squirrel, every vole, every shrew, every snake, every turtle, every frog, every bird, every rabbit, anything that gets in that bean field. I'm either going to plow and dismember, which is why the crows and the seagulls follow the combines every year. And then if anything does survive my first slaughter, I'm going to come in with Monsanto and poison the shit out of everything so you can have a tofu salad and not be responsible for any death. Fuck you.
Such language.
That's the good old Ted Nugent.
You really want to kill.
Wow. That's such language. I mean, it's hard to argue with the facts what he was saying, but still. Jeremy, we got one more clip and then we got to get out here. Well, people got to go to work. We got to go to bed. These three it's all 12:30 for them. Yeah. It's past wee hours. You know, I hear.
It's going up on 1 a.m.
I hear Laura Lee turns into a pumpkin if she's up too late. So I don't want to see that. That could be scary.
I never sleep.
That could be scary, man. Be pumpkin head in the flesh. I don't know about that. What is this? Roman Blonsky on TikTok. Wait, what? No, we ain't going there. That's a whole nother show. Somebody sent me some badass looking heels. Man, look at the freaking size of these heels. You break your neck walking on freaking things.
You're going to look good in those, Joe.
Yeah, that pumps look nice, man. Wait, I shouldn't even know what the shit that is. Shame on me for knowing that. Hey, look, when you're raised by 4 women and you raise 4 daughters, you kind of tend to know things you shouldn't know. It's I told a friend of mine one time, he's got a daughter. I said, look, dude, I learned more shit about women than I ever wanted to know. He's like, what do you mean? I said, it kind of takes some of the romance away when you learn some of this stuff. He's like, what? I said, you'll understand one day, trust me. That's like we got to know the size of the pantyhose or other things you need to know what kind they need. It's stuff that men just don't need to know. It's just things that in general guys don't need to know. Jeremy. Yeah, you can send it, but send it to my messenger because I can't play it off anything else. Send it to my messenger. It's easier to play stuff off my messenger than it is anywhere else. Mm-hmm. Well, no, I still got stuff that Laura Lee sent me. We're just not going to have time. We're going to run out of time. And wait, what is this? Oh, this is somebody else sent me the Coach Leatherwork teddy bear. Does this come up on the screen?
Leather handbags.
Oh, look at this. Oh, wait, y'all can't see it up here, huh? Hold on. Let's remove that. Come on. Mouse, stop being retarded. And did I use that bad word? Oh, I shouldn't have used that bad word. That's a bad word. I try to break myself of using certain bad words. That doesn't always work, though. And my cousins get really mad when I use that one particularly, so I got to stop that.
You know what? I sent you this link, Joe. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just looking at the lovely bears up here. Look at these things.
I sent you a link. You won't be able to show it, but there's some stuff in here.
Coach Leatherwork teddy bears. And so
actually, the clip I'm looking for is right at the bottom that I was going to show you.
I'll look at it in a second. Who? I mean, would you buy these teddy bears? I guess maybe I could buy these.
They're made of leather.
No,
are they made of leather?
That's what it says. It says they're made out of leather.
No.
And then here we go again. Here's this one. There's just something about this that just looks sick to me. No, people, look, I don't know. They just look like teddy bears made out of leather, but I don't know. Got a little ice cream one on his chest. Something about this face just weirds me out.
Yeah.
This thing over here. I don't know, people. I just
like an Ace Frehley kind of vibe on a teddy bear.
See, this looks like more like a teddy bear to me right here anyway.
Yeah.
The teddy bear should be fuzzy. It should have hair.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we get these teddy bears. I don't know, people. I just don't think I could go for the leather teddy bear for my kids. I just It just doesn't seem like something I could
when
do.
I see a little character, I'm going to film it over a few days and see what comes out of its mouth, because I have seen some clips where I swear to God, there was some stuff that sounded pretty Latin to me coming out of there, and I'm not sure what it is, but we'll see what comes out of this thing. This, like I said, with the cauldron and the whole thing, because it apparently starts to learn language and all kinds of stuff as it hangs out. It's like an AI type.
That's just weird in itself.
Well, that's the one I showed you earlier. This guy,
that's
here
what I'm
with
saying.
the children. Well, I'm going to make a video of it. So when I do, I'll film it and I'll.
AI, we're going to have to do a show just on AI. I mean, Jesus, there's so much of this stuff now that's interacting in our lives. We really just need to do a show on it because, well, we just did a show on Writers of the Future about, the AI that writes for you now and the AI that draws for you now. I mean,
yeah, I was going to do a show on there. I had a whole bunch of topics I was going to do there with that Chat GPK and to go through there. It's actually pretty interesting. They can write a whole rewrite lots for you.
When you do the comic books, not only will it do the writing for you, but it will actually do the little pictures and the little cartoons and the little, the blips with the words in them for you.
Yeah.
It's we did it. He actually did them live for me. Yeah, he did them live for me on the show, and I was impressed. Now, Writers of the Future says you can't use that to write or to do illustration for them, but still, I mean, I was impressed with the shit. I was kind of like, it's serious technology.
Well, on TikTok, the big thing right now is there's the AI filter, and people are using it, and then all of a sudden they're alone in a room, and then the AI seems to pick up another person. And then they'll restart it live while they're doing it. And it looks like the person's moving, but there's nobody else there. So this is the big thing. Is it paranormal or isn't it?
I don't know, but there's some weird stuff going on. And it's starting to bug me a little bit that not that many people are paying attention. It just seems like more people should be watching what's going on in our world. And they don't really seem to give a good bleep at the moment. So that irritates me even more. Is this the one I wanted to share? Oh no, this is the one I wanted to share.
Yeah, don't share the one I just sent you because that's not radio friendly right now.
Yeah, I almost did.
Omicron, it's highly transmissible, it's highly contagious, and it can infect you even if you're vaccinated. Where is this subvariant circulating? So far, mostly in China, but it's spreading like wildfire there.
Ow, you're
infecting people at an alarming pace.
Give me a headache. Sorry, I had to get rid of that. That was too loud.
I didn't send you that one.
No, that whole archive seemed like there was something funky monkey with that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here in just a minute. So, because we're actually not over because we started late tonight. But what you wanted me to show, Marcus? Oh no, you mean this? I don't think I can show that. It's kind of perverted.
That's a good way to end it.
So, well, you always got to have some fun, people. Well, we had a rule on the network, and we probably will always have a rule on the network. We try to end all shows on a good note because really and truly, the world has enough bullshit in it already without us adding to it. We'll be a little bit more organized on the next show. We do about Balenciaga and a couple other things I want to talk about. I may see if we can't hunt down the doll thing so everybody can see them in person. But I got to tell y'all, it's like when you see something, you can't get it out of your head once you see it. Because you see this and you think, is it real? And then when you find out, yes, it is real. And you find out that some man or some woman somewhere are using these things, you got to just take a step back. I mean, these are 10 to 12 years old. This is something they usually have sex with on a daily basis.
You probably have to warn people searching it too, because I'm sure it'll trigger somebody like that.
It will trigger something.
Do keep track. Yeah, so be
they
careful.
Do. So we'll get it sent to us that way we can just pop it up the way we did tonight. And excuse me. Well, it's up on the archive on one of the United Public on one of the News on the Flip Side's archives. It's in one of those archives. We did a show on it, but back then, all you could get was like clips because we were doing mostly audio, so we were sharing clips the other way through like chat and stuff like that. But see, now with the television station, we can play the whole thing. Now, I don't know if Roku would consider that light porn or something because it's hard when you see it. it's hard to get out of your head because when you first see it, it just looks like a kid standing there. And then you start to read the description and you're like, wait, what? And then you hear fully functional and you're like, well, wait, what? So every paragraph, yeah,
like a child.
Yeah, every paragraph you read just makes you take another like what? The fact that they have these, and now they're from what I've heard, they're going to be upgraded and into even more realistic, and with more AI and more robotics, so you'll be able to have conversations with it. It's just. Well, I know they have the ones for the adults. I've seen those too.
Oh,
but
great! Now they can practice their grooming now too.
So well, Carl, you're probably right. In 50 years, if you don't want to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you'll just be able to get a robot to do it. But who would, look, people, there's nothing like the real thing. I'm just telling you. And if you don't know that, just shame the hell on you. Denise says it'll be better than the real thing by then. I'm not even going to argue with you because you might be right. I won't be around to know, so I ain't going to worry about it. And if I am around, I'll just be a kid myself. So I can't. For me, there's no justification for these kind of things, for these kind of dolls and stuff like that. Maybe in China, it's fine.
Well, but the justification is that it would help and or prevent pedophiles from actually harming a child. But with what the gentleman just said, that they don't feel, they're not as realistic as real life. That could be a reason why they would continue to abuse a real child, because it's not, it's just a doll. It doesn't. I think it abates whatever proclivities they have in their brain. It doesn't stop it doesn't satisfy the urge.
Plus, they're trying to legalize it now. And certain states are trying to legalize it. People are coming out with these titles for boy lover, girl lover, but there's these initials and short forms that they use after. There's a whole bunch of stuff like this.
Well, California had the law because California, until I think it was 1950, you could marry a 12-year-old. It was legal. And
well, they have the Romeo and Juliet law too in some states. I know that if you're within 4 years of age from the partner that you're with, that you won't get.
And then down here for a long time, 14 and up was legal to get married. And still 15 and up is legal here to get married. But 15, you have parents' consent, but it is still legal to get married. So it's, and they want to go backwards instead of going forward. They want to go backwards. I don't know why they want to go backwards, but they definitely want to go backwards. And it doesn't just seem to be the blue states, it seems to be all the states. They're kind of like, well, except for Mississippi. Mississippi's got laws there, and you even look at a kid crooked, your ass is doing 30 years. They are just tight ass down here about it, which is the way it should be. But still, the more you get into this, the more you find this is the heavier this is going. And, I've known a lot of women in my life, a lot. And not all having sex with us before anybody says anything. I got a lot of friends that are female. And I would say, and this is going to probably get me in trouble, I would say if I went by the government stats, it would be 1 in 7. If I go by what I personally know, I'd say it was 1 in 3 that were abused as growing up. Some by dad, some by uncles, some by stepfathers, some by stepmothers.
I just said it's happened to me by a relative, and I was 5 when it happened.
Yeah, so it seems to be more common than uncommon. Now, I heard this big spew the other day about, well, girls at 15 and 16 are fast these days, and they're just as fast as a 20-year-old, which is probably true, but it doesn't matter. It's still illegal. And in all fairness, a lot of these 16 and 15-year-old girls look like 20-year-old women. Mm-hmm. So, but and the mentality between a 15 and a 20 is not that much different.
When I was 12, I looked like I was 25. I'm not kidding.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I did. I looked like I was 25.
So, it's a hard thing. And sometimes guys get played and some guys are the players. It just depends on what's going on. But people, a friend of mine got mad at me. I said, you should always ask for an ID. He's like, what? I said, at least if you ask for an ID and she turns out to be younger, you said you seen the ID, take a picture of the damn thing. And then I told my son one time he was messing with me. I said, yeah, if you ever get single again, you need to ask for consent. He's like, I said, break out your cell phone, take a picture, and ask for consent. He's like, what? I said, dude. I said, in today's society, you got to be careful. I said, it's a shame that we've gotten to the point where you can't trust a person you're sleeping with. And in all fairness, I mean, there's a lot of funky monkey shit that's been going on, but you got to be careful these days, male or female. You got to be careful. And Jennifer, you're right. I don't think it's as high as males, but the abuse for females, for young men and young women, has gone up insanely high. But it's still not as high as men, and it might equal out one day. I'm not saying, but maybe women feel a need for. And until recent times, the laws were much easier on females. So if a female 30-year-old slept with a 15-year-old man, a lot of times she didn't get in any trouble. But if a 30-year-old man slept with a 15-year-old female, he was going to jail. So that had to change because it's just discrimination. You can't do that. So the laws have actually gotten tight now. So females getting just as much trouble. A lot of times they're getting more trouble now than men. Well, when I was 15, I slept with a couple of 18-year-old girls. I'm not going to lie. And personally, I'm glad because I learned a lot of stuff. I wouldn't want them to go to jail because they slept with me. I figured it was a good education, but I wasn't forced and I wasn't harassed or anything else. It was just good sex, and that's all it was. And it happens, I'm sure, on both sides. But there are times when it's against your will, and that's a whole different thing. And you have to distinguish between the two. Well, you do. And Don, you're talking about a whole different thing. That's two people being drunk off their ass. That's a whole different thing. That's two adults or two teenagers the same age. That's a whole different thing. That's just different than what we're talking about right now. I'm not saying it's right, by the way. I'm just saying it's different. And no, getting drunk is not I realized when I was 25 that an alcoholic is an alcoholic because it's an excuse to do something they would not normally do. That's all that is. It gives them the excuse. Well, it's because I was drunk. Well, you know what? That shit don't work with me anymore. I don't care you're drunk or not. So all I can tell you, if you know someone who's just help people out, give them a hand, give them a shaking hand, watch for people, look for the signals, look for the signs. I'm not saying that everybody's evil, everybody's bad. Well, Bell's kind of bad, but the rest of us are kind of. And
no, you know what, Dell and I have had this talk very quickly, though. You know what?
Yeah.
Let's put it this way, and I'm not victim blaming anybody, but if you're going to go back as a woman to a guy's apartment after you've been in the bar drinking all night, you're not going there for tea. And if you think that
that's
you are,
true.
You're not.
No, that's true. No, it's true. It's a good statement. It's like that's why Bill Cosby didn't end up in jail for all those women, because a lot of people looked at it like, wait a minute. You went to the man's hotel at night and you took pills that he gave you without identifying the pills. Okay, anybody who's over the age of 18 knows what Tylenol looks like. I just, you're not going to tell me. And
well, I just
like
think you have to be realistic. You're not going back there for tea after you've been drinking all night, or a guy's been buying you drinks all night, or whatever it is. You're not. Okay,
and and it's like the casting couch. No, they don't think that. They know better than that. I mean, sometimes shit happens and changes, but
it can happen. But I'm just saying, I think you got to be self-aware that if you're going to a bar at night,
when a girl was taking me home at 2:00 in the morning after I've been drinking, I was expecting to get some booty.
Absolutely.
And, actually, let me rearrange that. She was expecting to get some.
Exactly. It's not just the guy. And what I'm saying is, when you hear these stories about, and you've heard them, I'm not victim blaming, but what I'm saying is, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah. What was that, Jay?
Go out for lunch then. Go for a walk in the park. Go for a pick. Do whatever if that's what you thought you were going to have.
Helen says when she brings a guy home at 3 a.m, he better be giving it up. He's getting kicked out with cab money. Jay said, "Hey, he lives in Pittsburgh. Come by and see him. He's always game for 3 o'clock in the morning. That's not a quickie though. At 3 a.m. That's a working effort.
That's a booty call.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm 56, Joe. Yeah, that's a quickie. That's a quickie.
Yeah. It's a quickie. Don't kill Jay either, by the way. Jay, we get Jay as a good host, so we killing him. No, actually, we're gonna get out of here, guys. Y'all save the questions for next week. Oh, excuse me.
Thanks for having us, Joe.
Oh no, y'all always fun. And we were just going through a lot of stuff. We got a lot more stuff to go through on this Beyonce stuff and a bunch of other stuff to go through. We'll probably do the next show, probably be 3 hours too. We'll probably do Balenciaga in the beginning, and then we'll throw some Epstein in the middle, and then we'll see what comes out at the end of the show. Well, there's other stuff we didn't talk about, like why Uncle Joe Biden's a goofus. Why he's having sex with pink shorts. I didn't even think he could get up, and just he's flying up and it's just scary. No, actually, he's you mean the racist thing? Yeah. I don't know who filed. I heard somebody filed the other day. So, yeah, hiring someone in our country based on sex and color is highly illegal. Joe Biden did it 3 times. He hired his vice president based on her color and her sex. He hired the Supreme Court based on her color and her sex. And he hired his spokesperson based on color and sex. And what was funny about this is I was on Black Entertainment Network the other day, and I was talking to the host. I said, guys, you black guys are happy with this? I said, he basically shit on all y'all, hired 3 black women, and said black guys are worthless. I'm like, what? I said, and they got pissed. I said, hey, you didn't catch this in the beginning? He said, well, I said, I guess a black guy couldn't, be a spokesperson or a vice president, or I said, I don't know, man. Y'all getting kicked in the balls, not even realize they got all riled up. They was getting pissed off. I didn't think about it like that. I'm like, yeah, well, that's what it is. And I said, he's basically saying women only. No, that's illegal in the United States. You can get screwed.
Yeah,
you can go to
and
jail for it.
We have the legacy of having this buffoon female as the first female vice president. So, what kind of legacy is that we're leaving?
She's from California. She smokes weed, man. What are you talking about? Her and Obama probably get together in the basement and have a field smoke. Yeah, Obama smoked. Obama almost got in trouble for it. So some reporter was watching this guy used to come by every 2 weeks. And he'd pull up. So they decided to follow the guy. Well, the guy worked at the pot shop. Yeah, pot's legal in DC, guys. He was working at the pot shop. He'd go back to work at the pot shop. He'd come make a delivery. A couple of times Obama came in himself and seen him. And then he'd go back to work. And they caught the press lady because she was going to release it and said, no, you're not. She's not going to tell everywhere else that our president gets stoned. But we already knew it. He talked about it early in his election, when he was running for election. He talked about getting high. So personally, I don't see the problem with it, but still, it's
I don't.
The president of the United States getting stoned down in the basement talking to George
Washington.
Washington.
Getting injected all the time with painkillers, so
yeah,
it's not new.
Yeah, it's not like our presidents haven't done drugs or alcohol. That's for sure. But we got to go, guys, because it's midnight. These guys got to go all to bed. We don't want Dell to turn into a Mr.
Midnight, 1 o'clock here.
That's what I'm saying. It's 1 for y'all. It's midnight for me. Actually, Denise, I'm going to go fry up some ham and eggs. I'm going to go fry up. Yes, I am. I was going to do a pork chop maybe.
Pizza.
He's going to eat pizza.
We're going to have something because I went for groceries before they'll put them away for me. We got ready for tonight. So we're probably.
Yes, I was looking at, we went grocery shopping the other day too. There's all kind of stuff in the house, which I always like it. But I'm on a diet right now, so I got to watch what I'm eating.
Oh, that's too bad, Joe. I was going to tell you quickly before we go. Every time I go shopping and I see chocolate bars, because I promised you some, I've never.
Yes, I seen Dell up there just now with a chocolate bar. Look at you, evil bastard.
Where do you think he got that at Christmas?
Pierro Rochers.
Them Rochers are good, man. They good. Those and what's that other company makes those?
I'm gonna send you Aero bars and some coffee crisp. I just need. I haven't forgotten. I have all that stuff. I'll have to wait till you're off your diet, though. Yeah, I'll send you some amazing stuff.
Yeah, well, my ass.
I got COVID. What you're thinking about?
What's that, Jay?
Yeah, truffles are good too.
What was that, Jay?
Oh, he must have frozen.
He was thinking about Lindt truffles.
Yes, they're good too.
Lindt truffles. That's what Joe was in.
This thing was full.
I bet. But you little skinny ass, you can eat that kind of stuff. My ass is bigger than both of y'all. Last time I got a scale, I was 272, so I'm back down to 264.
No, you're not.
I was 272 when last time I went to the doctor, and she's like, "Damn, Joe, what have you been doing?" I said, "I've been eating my ass through fucking COVID. Is what I've been doing." What happened is when we get slow at work, and I just sit around the house and eat basically. So, and now we're working again. I've already dropped 10 pounds, but I got to drop another 30 just before I go to whatchamacallit when I go down in April. And I'd like to be a little lighter than that when I go up. They're doing a documentary on me in Buffalo, so I'd like to be a little lighter than that when they're filming my ass. Because you already look fatter than you are when you're on TV. Yes, people, it is true. You do look bigger than you are when you're on TV.
You do.
It's just one of them things. Not for us. See, the way we're set up, we'll look like we are. We'll just look like 4 handsome people. when they see us. But if we were all standing back and away and standing up, yeah, you look bigger.
No, I noticed that on that Paranormal Survivor episode we did, and I was going, "Oh my God, I look like I'm huge." And it's like, I think it's TV.
And I was telling a friend of mine the other day, I said, "Yeah, I see myself on TV. All kind of shit's changing now." He's like, "You're such an ass." What do you mean? How did I lose weight? I quit putting food in my mouth. That seems to work the best. I'm just saying, that seems to work the best. Well, I got a problem I like to do late at night, so that's the thing that gets me in trouble. But so I start out with just cutting everything I eat in half. That works pretty good. And I switch over from Cokes back to the red drinks or the blue drinks that are only 5 calories, so that helps a lot too. And then now that the weather's changed, I mean, it's here right now. Yesterday it was 77 degrees down here in the middle of January, so I can go walking with my dogs. Tomorrow it's going to be tomorrow it's raining, but later in the week it'll be back in the mid 60s. I can take the dogs and go walking. And little Lola won't make it though. She'll make it about a block, and we'll have to pick her ass up. But Fiona likes to walk, so she's like, yeah, she does. That's my dogs, people who are more famous on TikTok than I am. I got to put my head down every time I go on TikTok. It's I'm glad I brought that up. So Christopher, we're on Roku now. Well, Rumble's going to pick up in a couple of weeks, so you'll see us live on Rumble too, just like you see us live on Roku.
Oh, good.
So there's a deal we're trying to figure out how the TikTok things work, but you'll probably see us. So you can watch us. You can catch the archives on TikTok because one of them, I think Rumble publishes to TikTok for us. But we're really going to figure out how to put TikTok on live too. But what you're asking me, and yes, I did mention this a couple of weeks ago. It probably won't be until March, but I was I'm going to set the layout out we've been using for 40 years, and then I'm gonna start reading. But I don't read for free. No, I'm sorry, I don't read for free. It's I'm really accurate, and I don't do it for free. No, I'm sorry, guys, it just don't work. Nothing good that's worth having is free. So it's just how it is. No, I've read for a lot of people. When I worked at the bottom of Teacup, I read for a lot of famous people. It's they still, even today, you can go down to the bottom of Teacup right now, right next to the police station in the French Quarter, and watch famous people walk out in and out all day long. They're well renowned for being excellent readers. I was there for 6 or 7 years. I made quite a bit of money there too. It's no, I didn't read tea leaves. No, and I'm not going to start either. I have a specialty. We designed a specialty way of reading cards that's way more involved than any other deck you're going to see. It's not so much the deck; it's just a layout, and there's just far more cards in it, and there's far more detail. And what's great about it, when you start off, there's 4 cards in the center. If those 4 cards don't match what's going on in your life, there's no reason to even go any further. That's your here and now. If that's not what's going on in your life, there ain't no reason to go any further. That's what makes this reading so much nicer, is when you hit that center, you know you're on track. And as you're reading through, you know this is more on course. Plus, we do past and present and future. So there's 3 months of your past, 3 months of your future. It's a 6-month reading altogether, and then there's a 3-month extra at the end, so it makes it 9 months. But the 3 months past in the center allows you to know. You don't have to rely on what I'm saying. It allows you to know how accurate this reading is. Because I'm reading, I don't know your past. I don't know what the hell you've been doing. So this is something that you know. So we go through the cards, and if it's where it's supposed to be, then you can take the rest of the reading. The next 6 months of the future, you can take at a much better rate. It's much easier for you to understand, and much easier for you to know what's going to happen to you. And I don't read my own cards. Whoever posted that? No, I don't. Reading your own cards is like setting your own destiny. Yes, because you're just reading what's in your head, and you're sticking it down on the cards. That's all you're doing. So, no, you don't read. The reason I had quit reading is I'd gotten really good. I didn't really need the cards anymore. So I use the cards today more as a tool for the person than for me. It helps you.
Do it too.
Yeah, it helps you to feel comfortable. You need to see something. It helps you feel comfortable.
Well, I find that people can see, Joe, what you're telling them. The cards will show it too, right?
Yes,
so
it is.
They don't think you're just making it up, and they can see you cut the deck or pull it out, so they know that. Like you said,
and you'd be surprised when I read the cat cards for people, how many people come back and want it read over and over and over. Because The cat card deck is a very old deck we've had. It was given to me as a gift, like all my card decks are. It's 55 years old. I could not tell you how many spells it was used for. I cannot tell you how many people's blood and other stuff is on those cards that you don't even want to know about. They're just, and they always read the worst. They never read anything but the worst. So whatever your possible worst of your life could be, these cards will tell you. And if you read them and it's not that bad, you're like, well, shit, you're going to have pretty good next 9 months. They're brutal, and they are brutal.
Why would you want that?
Because if you use those and then you use the Crawley deck that I got from Alex and Crawley's grandson, if you use those 2 decks, you get a very clear reading of where you are right now and where you're going. It's a very accurate reading. It also shows you the expanse of both sides, how good it can be and how bad it can be. So it's up to you after that. You can walk that middle path if you want to. It's just a way to help guide me. Most people will come back and ask me to read the Crawley cards over and over, but some people are abusive and they think they can force the cat cards into reading good for them. I'm like, sure you can. I've been reading these cards for 40 years. The bitches do what they want to do. And they're really wicked looking deck. And people weird out because they see them. You see blood stains on them. You see other stains on them. You see wax stains on them because they were used for spells for a long time. The deck was actually dedicated for spells for 2 decades. That's all it was used for. And then except for a couple of really high-end readings here and there, that's what it was used for. No, I don't do magic. Other people were using it for that, not me. No, indeed not. What am I doing with magic? I don't know nothing about that shit. That's Jay did all that stuff. I don't know nothing about that. Well, you want to turn you into a frog? Oh, turn your wife into a frog. I don't do that kind of stuff now. Because it might backfire and turn me into a frog. I don't want to be a frog. My wife isn't going to kiss a frog. This ain't like some fairy tale story. Shit's not going to work. But really and truly, because I have been asked, I have been being bugged. Because originally that's what I got on the internet for. No. Claire, that's what I originally got on the internet for. I was reading cards. Yeah, I was just reading them. I was just reading them in general for people just to help people to get through their, couple of months of their day. We were using the Celtic cross. And it just wasn't accurate enough. It just didn't give us what we were looking for. So myself and Len and a couple other people who had been doing magic for more than a decade all sat down and we developed a new way of reading. It's a version of Celtic Cross. It's just a way more advanced one. That's all. And it's been used by a lot of people, but we designed it. I want to say, 60. So it was about 44 years ago. 42 years ago, something like that. Yeah, I was a pup when we did it. Yeah, I was just a pup. What can I say? Yes, I had lots of hair all over the place and stuff. Yes. Actually, when I got out the Navy, I didn't have a beard or a mustache. No, I didn't. And a good friend of mine told me today, she goes, I don't know what you really look like. I'm like, what do you mean? She said, I've never seen you without a beard. I was like, oh, well, see.
You posted your picture when you were in the Navy. I remember one year you did.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but that was 100 years ago. And yes, and I was cute when I was in the Navy. What can I say? All I got to tell you is something about them Cracker Jacks just flip women out. I cannot tell you how many times in ballrooms I've had girls say, I want to try to get them 13 buttons, Liz. In case y'all know, on Cracker Jacks, there's a panel with 13 buttons. That's how you put them together. And I can't tell you how, especially in San Diego, there was some crazy girls out there. They like them sailor guys. I don't know what it is with them Cracker Jacks, man. I have no idea. Because you know what it really is? They're like, it's like when women you lay down and put your jeans on. It's kind of like the same thing. They're like painted on your ass. There is nothing. I'm just saying, every bump in there, it's just painted on you, man. They are tight. Mm-hmm. And then something about that stupid little sailor boy hat. And I don't know. It's weird. Nah, because I got hit on more in Cracker Jacks than I did in my dress blues. It was weird. It was. I used to say, y'all some pervert ladies out here. And then they had the ones, because they knew we were in boot camp, that would come by the airport and just rip their tops off and shove them up against the fence. Now you've got 2,000 guys, ain't seen a naked woman in at least 8 weeks. It was not a good scene.
Yeah, but when you go see strippers, when women go see strippers, they're way more crazy. You can ask Del, because Del and I were friends, and one night I went to see them. he didn't want to see any guys. He was just hanging out with me. But when you agree, Del, women are way crazier. A lot of they dress up in fantasy costumes, the guys, right? And they dress up in military, cowboy, fireman, all kinds of things, right?
You know, it's funny you said it because a friend of mine who was at Chippendale for about 10 years, and just recently he's writing a book and he's talking about, you know, all these women today would be in jail for the way they touched us and did things. He said they would put them in jail today for that. He said back then it was not even. He said we didn't think about it because if they grabbed you, you know what? It was just a bigger tip. I was like, he used to tell me some stories, man. I was like, dude, I don't know how you did that shit for 10 years. You made a lot of money. You made enough money retired. You don't have to work.
Well, Dolly, you knew a guy that did that. He had to dance in front of guys for 3 months to make sure that he didn't get
yep.
That's
how they start out. Maybe dance in front of men first. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would make sense, you know. Yeah, well, it makes sense. So you're not getting all raging, you know, when the ladies are all over you.
Yeah.
And and then he also used to tell me stories about, you know, Joe, there's some scary women used to come in. I said, I bet you there was. Oh man, it was just too funny. But he was on tour. He wasn't like one state. He would go like spend 3 months here and 2 months there and a month there, and they traveled all over. He said they would spend like 4 months out in Vegas and a month or two in LA, a couple months up in New York. It was like a circuit they went around on. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, y'all don't need to know about that kind of stuff. We know the women who watch this show do not watch Chippendales. Okay.
I watched them.
We're just going to retract that whole statement. Anyway, we're getting out of here. Don't forget to check, Laura Lee. You're on what? 3 nights now? 2 nights now?
No, I'm on the Angel Rock Monday night, and then I have a new show with my co-host David Hansel, The Thing at the Foot of the Bed, on Thursday nights, and we talk about some of the stuff Joe was not the stripper stuff yet, anyways, but we talk about the questions you guys have out there about the paranormal, about the afterlife. We both had near-death experiences. I've studied them professionally and personally for 40 years. And then we do an predictable reading. So sometime during the 2-hour period, we do a reading. We're both clairvoyant mediums. That's cool. It's lots of fun. Yeah, people have lots of fun. David's hilarious. You guys will love him.
And I know Dell's in the squeeze now between the outer realm and what is that, spirit? Which one is that? Now I forgot which one's in front of him now.
I don't even know. I don't even know who's in the new slot before me.
It's one of the new shows. Oh man,
who's ever after us? Yeah, whoever's after us.
Is it the spirit? Is it spirit research? I'm gonna have to go look and see. It's what?
It's not what the frick is it?
No, it's I don't remember what it is. I'll go. If I was on the other computer, I could tell you right away. I'm just not on that computer. It's but it's there. Y'all can find it because I posted all the archives yesterday, so y'all can go check them and see them. And this unfortunately won't get up till tomorrow. And Jay here hangs out with the crazy Jeffrey Pritchett. He is the second craziest host on the network, by the way. Even though he's mellowed a little bit over the years, he's kind of calm because his woman slaps him around at the house.
No, I like Jay, and I like both you guys, and I really like Jeffrey too. He's awesome.
Well, Jeffrey does a good job, and Jay's with him a lot. And of course, Wham's with him. Yeah, and Wham's with him a lot, and which is Carol, by the way, but she's with him a lot, and they both do a great job co-hosting with him. And well, they take turns because Jay works. Sometimes he works nights because we've been dragging, and a lot of nights. Jay's doing 4 or 5 hours. He's 5 hours. Well, you were on Jeffrey tonight, right? And so he does 5 hours some nights.
No, it was Wham tonight. And
it was Uncle Wham. Yeah. So he only did 3 hours.
It would have been 5 hours.
But some nights he does 5 hours with us because he's on with Jeffrey, and then he's on with us, and he don't really get much of a break in between because there's only about 10 or 12 minutes between the shows. So excuse me, guys. Mm-hmm. So you can catch him. But anyway, they're on. So it's Church of Mavis on Friday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. They open for us. I think there's now a show in front of them. I'm not 100% sure. Michelle's keeping me up to speed, but there's been so much other stuff going on. I haven't been able to keep up with it. I've just been posting them as they go. And so y'all can catch there's a lot of new shows on the network, a lot of new shows still coming on the network. And I got a friend of mine, Christina George, we might be bringing back as well. So It's some of the old hosts now that we're on TV are like, can we come back? I'm like, I don't know. Were y'all bad? Why are you not here? If you were good
You're on
host and you left
TV.
for good reason. Well, Christina left because of health issues. So, she was running 2 shows at the time. She was just having, her mom was sick. She was a lot going on in her life, but, so it's a little bit different now. And, so we're thinking about places to put her. And for anybody listening tonight, there are openings. Oh, excuse me. Damn, sorry guys. We open the daytime slots up now, so there's drive time slots. And what's great about the opening the daytime slots for Americans, it's a little tough, but for Europeans, it's prime time. So for a lot of the people you're seeing in daytime slots, when they come on air at their place at 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. So it's prime time in the UK. It's drive time here. So they got 2 good audiences. They got a drive time audience, and they've got their prime time audience. And of course, they got the European audiences, which is a little bit later. So it's a good balance all the way around. So if you're overseas and you're looking for a show spot, contact Michelle DeRoche because she's the one handling all this. When y'all contact me, it's fine. But then sooner or later, and I can give you a show, but sooner or later, I'm going to push you off to Michelle because she needs to meet everybody who comes on the network because she's responsible for all the egos on the network. Yeah, I'm not. She is. And she's got to listen to me whine and bitch when people ain't doing what they're supposed to. So that's why she gets cranky with y'all. She's got to deal with my ass. But Michelle does a fabulous job as a station manager. So
she does.
Yeah, and she's got a lot of hosts to keep an eye on, a lot more coming. She don't have to deal with the syndicated hosts. That's my headache. But she's got to deal with all the live hosts, which is harder. Who? Oh, Nicole Antoinette. No, she's not on the network anymore. She was with us for, I don't know, like 4 weeks or something. I have no idea. No, there's no hard feelings. She just wasn't. We weren't what she was looking for. That's all. I don't know. Well, she was wanting to do another show, and we're really funny about our live shows being unique to the network. So we don't mind if you go on other people's shows, and sometimes we don't even mind syndicating another show. But for the most part, we want our live shows to be unique to this network, or why bother having them? So that's what that's about. Now, if you syndicate, we'll syndicate anybody. Syndicating fees a basic $100 fee, and that gets you on. It doesn't get you featured, but it gets you on. It gets you on all of our networks, and it gets you on Roku. But it doesn't get you featured now. Well, we don't even syndicated shows. It's a lot harder to get them featured because one, there's no video like this, so we tend to not want to feature just audio and not with the video anyway. But anyway, you can always contact Michelle DeRoche. Just write to her and say that crazy bastard Joe said to write to you. She'll know who you're talking about. You can always write to Dell too. He might like some, extra pen pal stuff. And
there you go.
He's always looking for guests. By the way, before we leave here, we're always looking for guest people. So we'll probably put a guest pool in somewhere. Somebody asked me that the other day. Well, we didn't have enough hosts recently, but we did. So we'll do a guest pool and what's good to have a pool because it keeps us from doubling up on shows with other hosts. Because sometimes we crisscross. Some guests will get played a lot or get crisscrossed. Well, excuse me, damn, with too many hosts too early. Well, we don't like to have the same guy on back to back to back to back because it's one, it's boring for the guy. And 2, it's boring for the audience unless it's somebody that you can change the questions up every week. You got to talk to Laura Rhea about Dell stripping. That's it's $9.99 a minute. The station gets half.
Yeah, I'm kind of telling from the comments most people don't know
30%.
But Laura Lee's in charge of that money.
Downstairs, I'm upstairs.
So yeah, you got to talk to the pit boss about that. I'm sorry, guys, I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Where's this half coming from? You said it was only 30%.
Hey, look, what can I say? I had to make a little extra money right now. Things are tight, man. What do you mean, Denise? No, actually, no. Seriously, that's Dell up there. That's his woman right below him. Okay, that just sounded bad, but still, that's Laura Lee on
We
this
do
part of the
actually
screen.
lots of shows together. Actually, Dell had
Yes.
Dave and I on his show last night, and we have different hosts on our shows. So yeah, Dell's pretty good about that. He tries to have different hosts on and share their shows too. And yeah. We used to be on the Centralist. It's just things got changed up when we stopped doing so many
we've been rotating, and they've been busy too. So, and we've been rotating into other stuff. And I usually invite them on, especially when we're doing world news or stuff like this. So they'll always be on when we're doing stuff like this or when we're doing world news.
The only reason I mentioned it because they sound like they don't know us, and we've been almost both of us on the network. I've been on for
and when we do, but when we do just
July
straight American news, it's boring for these guys to come on for that. It's now they missed a good show on God last week. And Trish said, "I ain't coming on with you and Emily no more. Y'all argue too much." Like, Trish, come on, baby. She's like, nope, I ain't coming on with y'all anymore. Y'all evil bastards. And but Emily Minthouse is one of the newer hosts on the network. She actually gets credit for running Michael off. Sorry, but I don't have anything personal against Michael. And he left because he had issues with her. I don't know why he gave up his other 2 shows, but that's between him and himself. You'd have to ask him about it. No, we don't talk anymore. Well, because he wrote some pretty nasty stuff about myself and Michelle in the station. So, no, he retracted it, but still, he's never written to me about anything. He could have wrote to me after the show and said, "Hey, Joe, sorry, I just got pissed." I liked Mike. He was with us for 10 years. But hosts do change, and we do move from time to time. Mm-hmm. Actually, Dell's got his old spot. Yeah, Dell's got his old spot. And I think Chase and Prophecy's got a spot on Tuesday. Yeah, so actually, Jenny was extremely happy because Michael left because she got the showtime she was looking for. She was driving me crazy about it. Before we go, Frank, I know we got to get out of here, and I keep saying that. The Roku schedules will be put up on the website as soon as we know what hosts are going to be on there and what hosts are not going to be on there. Well, to answer your question, no, it's not mandatory for all hosts because there's a fee. It's not mandatory. So some hosts will want to be on, some hosts, and we don't even know at the moment what kind of advantage the hosts are going to get from Roku yet. It does look like it's pretty good so far. I've seen some pretty good numbers, but it's really hard to pull the numbers off of Roku. So, and we got to have 10,000 followers there before we can even monetize it. So we'll see where it goes. I know when they sent me the numbers the other day, they were pretty good for just what we're doing right now, which is really nothing. Because right now there's nowhere to see the schedule for the network unless you come on one of these shows, or if you're following our YouTube page, you don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It's way past my bedtime, I guess. But if you follow our YouTube pages right now, some of those shows will be on Roku, some will not. So you'll just have to pay attention. Or you can write to your own host and find out, yes, this show is on right now. It's on there right now. Both of the Outer Realms will be on there anyway. Michelle's mad at me because I told her, I said, well, I can let you come on free because you're the station manager, but that bitch Amelia's got to pay. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, she got to pay, man. I said she got to pay. I love Amelia to death, guys. She's one of my favorite hosts on the network, but she's a feisty little thing, man. She's all about this big, and she's feisty, or this big. But she's feisty. But anyway, we got to go. And thank y'all guys for hanging out with me tonight and have a lot of fun. For everybody, for the almost 3 million people who tuned in tonight, I want to tell all y'all thanks for tuning in. Jimmy, I'm sorry we didn't talk enough about Balenciaga. We will, though. Well, the show was scheduled a little bit differently. It was set up a little bit differently. So, no, but we will talk about a little bit about Joe Biden next week because there's nothing to talk about. Everything's high. Nothing's going down. It's going down a little bit, but now it seems to be coming back up. That's about the forecast for now. And as far as do I think we're going to end up in a recession, it's 60-40 chance right now. Yes, I don't want to see a recession. I'm in a construction business. Recession means I'm not going to be eating. I'll have to borrow money to live. Yes, people don't like spending money when there's no money to spend. So anyway, on that note, good night. Stay tuned for Scott Bakula on Quantum Leap. No, I'm just kidding. Stay tuned for Spaced Out Radio. They'll be coming up next with Dave Scott. Yes, not Scott Bakula, Dave Scott. And if anybody's seen the new, speaking of, if anybody's seen the new Quantum Leap, let me know what y'all think about it. I haven't seen it yet. There's a couple of new sci-fi shows out I haven't had a chance to watch yet. So let me know. You liked it? Because no, I don't know anything about it.
I liked it. I'm up. Yeah, there's like 9 episodes out, and it's good. I like it.
Yeah. That's my son said he liked it too. And he said he liked the way they tied it all together. No, Michael, it's not a remake. It's a continuation. See, I'm all for continuation. I hate remakes, but continuations I can live with. Yeah, I can live with continuations because that's just a continuation of the story. But anyway, good night. Stay tuned for Spaced Out Radio. You got any bitches, moans, gripes, or complaints? Write to Dave Scott and say Joe said to write to you, you butthole. And then good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
No, y'all can't write to Michelle, people. Leave Michelle.